Hello, do you like New Japan Pro Wrestling? Are you a Shin Nihon freak? If so, check out the Super J-Cast with Joel and Damon on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network.
And even if you fucking hate New Japan Pro Wrestling, listen to the Super J-Cast anyway. Not just for our great show reviews, analysis, and pastrami sandwiches, but there's also usually some dick jokes somewhere in the obligatory opening 30 minutes of absolute nonsense we chat about every single week. That's the Super J-Cast for all the best talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, crisps, and pornography.
Wrestling Omakase is back, baby. The weekly podcast that takes you across all the top promotions on the entire Japanese wrestling scene, from New Japan Stardom, Noah, DDT, All Japan, Mari Gold, Dragon Gate, Tokyo Joshi, Sendai Girls, and a whole lot more. I'm John Carroll, a fan of Japanese wrestling for over 20 years, and every week I'm joined by a rotating cast of guest co-hosts as we break down all the top promotions in Japan, men's and women's. Check out Wrestling Omakase right here on the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network today.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Thank you so much for supporting WWE and NXT and me. You're so sweet.
You are listening to the Flagship Podcast with your hosts, Joe Lanza.
Bitch, if I want a puppet show, I'll go to a fucking puppet show!
And Rich Frage.
Joe, are you ready for Roadblock End of the Line?
Roadblock End of the Line.
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 Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line.
Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line.
Roadblock End of the Line. Roadblock End of the Line seems to have some buzz. A lot of buzz for Roadblock End of the Line.
It really does.
And we are live on the Flagship Podcast. I am Rich. He is Joe. Joe, what's happening? How are you?
Had that awful realization as soon as the music started playing that I got to take a piss, but not smart. Should have went beforehand.
You good? You want to go now?
No, I'll just chug this Coke and do what I do. You know what I'm saying?
How about you just go now?
So,
just go right now.
I'm doing a little shake. It's about half empty, so I think
just go now. Go now.
I think I could house it and then
just go now.
I hold it, of course, for the next 3 hours. I think
you should go now for your prostate health. I think you should go now.
We already started late. May as well just power through here.
Okay. All right.
Look around for orifices to. I'm good.
You're usually a pre-show.
I know.
Pisser, yeah. What I do is I always pee about 15 minutes before, but then like right as you get on the air, or right as you get on the line, I'm like, I better go again. Like, there's no, and you know what I mean? Like, nothing ever. I mean, it's like that last, but it's like the safety, just in case, the safety valve, just in case. Yeah. And it's like, I just peed 10 minutes ago. I don't need to pee again, but just in case, I try to get it out. You are like, nah, that's fine. I'm fine. Okay. I gotta go, but I'm fine. I mean, you could clearly go right now.
No, I can't. The show already started.
Okay.
So
all right.
If it was
because we are so professional that's impossible to break from format at all.
Well, I mean, the best time to pee on the show is when it's a big pay-per-view and there's indie shows running the same weekend, and you do that interminable thing where you read off all the IndyCar. One called Manders versus Masha Slamovich. I mean, that's the best time to go pee because it takes forever.
Scramble. And, Jimmy Lloyd versus G-Raver versus, as you're just none the wiser, pissing in another room, just having the grand old time, scrolling your phone, looking at some scores, seeing what's going on,
No doubt about it.
What's going on?
Laying some live action on Giants at Diamondbacks.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, cool.
Because you're like halfway through card number 3 of Game Changer Wrestling's weekend that I'm not going to pay any attention to anyway. So, That's the best time to go. But there's none of that this week.
There's none of that. So yeah, you better find a good time there, pal. But
yeah, well, that'll be all right.
Yeah, you'll survive. Question for you: You're more in tune with the football. When did college football start this like Thursday thing? Because there's week 0, which that's been around for a while. Your schlub, and we'll parlay this into a plug for college football intelligentsia. Do not worry. But when did this Thursday thing start? Because I got on the line here. I got in our YouTube chat room, and a couple people were like, "Oh wow, USF is and I'm like, "What is going on?" And I look, and there's like a lot of college football games, and like some pretty big teams are playing. When did this become a thing?
Well, there's always Thursday games. Now, is there always 20 Thursday games? No, that's an early season thing.
Okay,
so that'll dwindle down. You'll have your maybe two a week.
Sure, yeah, you get occasionally you get your Tuesday Maction, right? Isn't Tuesday the Maction day or whatever?
Yeah, Maction midweek, and what you do is you'll get a lot of these conferences are looking for any television real estate they can get.
Sure, before pre-NFL for sure, especially on Thursdays.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's weeks that there'll be some college games head to head with the NFL too. So, but yeah, this is week 1. So there's like 20 games tonight, but a lot of them are trash. A lot of them they're going against it's FCS versus FBS. You know what I mean?
There's a couple.
Games.
Like I know, like Boise's on right now, but they're they're barely in the top 25 or whatever. They're getting killed by USF, by the way, and then a couple of the other games
that's the marquee name.
Yeah,
night,
well, there's a Nebraska. They're coming up in a minute here, but they're against Cincinnati or whatever. So that's
Nebraska.
Not,
I forgot Nebraska Cincinnati.
I
did forget about that game. Yeah, but
like Oklahoma State's against Tennessee Martin or whatever. So I see your point. It's kind of fluff. A lot of the games are fluff.
It's a lot of Missouri's playing Central Arkansas. There's a lot of that. There's Friday games pretty much every week too, because as the season, for example, in 2 weeks, NC State Wake Forest is on a Thursday, head to head with the NFL. They don't, so it doesn't matter. But Friday games are a thing now too. That's the other thing.
Well, that's why Fox told WWE to hit the bricks a couple weeks early. We want to get our Big Ten, because what do they have? They have big. I don't know any conferences anymore. Big Ten. Okay, they have Big Ten on Friday.
Yeah. So. I don't know if that kicks off next. No, it kicks off in their Big Fox package on Fridays doesn't kick off until week 3. They've got Kansas State, Arizona, and then week 4 they've got a Big Ten game. They got Iowa, Rutgers, and then from there it's just every Friday in prime time on Fox. They've got the Big 12 and the Big 10. So, and then you'll get usually one Thursday game, and then of course the full Saturday slate. But this is week 1 and there's no NFL yet. So things are weird. You got like 20 games tonight. You got a bunch of games tomorrow too. And then by Saturday, everybody will have played once.
Is this a relatively new I don't feel like when I was regularly watching college football, this stacking it on Thursdays was not a thing at all for week 1, but maybe it was. And I just didn't know.
Yeah. Well, it's been this way for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then this week there's Sunday's a big day because you've got Notre Dame, Miami, and Virginia Tech, South Carolina. But again, that's because the NFL hasn't started yet, so they may as well throw some games on.
As well. Yeah.
And then Monday night, again, without the NFL, it's the Belichick debut in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. I forget that he's there. Yeah, that's incredible.
TCU at North Carolina, which that's going to do a monster number.
That's on Monday?
So,
that's a Monday night game?
Yeah.
All right. I'm in. Yeah, I'm watching that.
That's going to be that Belichick debut.
That's a must-see game, yeah.
Nobody knows what the hell to make of Raw viewership anymore, but that's the kind of game that could take a little bit of something off of a Raw, with Belichick debuting.
I'm already in. You mentioned that to me, and my eyes lit up. I was like, oh man, Monday I got to cancel all my plans on Labor Day. Yeah, that's
you'll watch some of that.
Of course, I got to watch the old hoodie doing the college game. Yeah, how's that going to go? Who knows?
You'll watch a quarter and a half, and it'll be 17-10, and you'll be like, I've had enough. But you'll watch a little bit.
Yeah. No, the college football is the video game has reinvigorated my love of college football, which is nice. And I knew that was going to happen too. It was a big reason why, because if you chart my love and desire of college football, it completely aligns with the video game. And once the video game goes away in 2014, I don't give a fuck anymore, and I just kind of don't care or whatever. Now I'm back in. Now I care about everything. I care about all the teams, and it's good to have on the side. So.
I mean, that's not, there's a lot of attribution given to Madden for sparking, what the NFL has become. That's a real thing. FIFA too, with kids. People playing FIFA got them interested in soccer to whatever degree people are, so that's not unusual at all. I mean, my very brief interest in hockey was built around NHL 94 and 95.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was a hockey guy for a little bit too, for sure. Because of that exact time period.
Now I know the players. So, and I was very briefly into hockey for about a year and a half or 2 years, and it just didn't hook me, but it was because of the video game. And then NHL 96 came out and I didn't like it. I hated the game.
Oh no, that one stinks. Have you ever gone back and played that one? Like anytime in recent vintage. Because I always remember, I was like, 94, 95 I love, but like what happened in 96? Like there's no way. And I went and played it like a couple years ago, maybe during the pandemic. Me and my buddies were just going through all my Genesis games or whatever. And I popped in NHL 96 and I'm like, what the fuck? This game's horrible. What happened?
96 sucked. The whole series up until 95 was progressively better and better.
Yeah.
Not most people prefer 94 to 95.
We've had this discussion, but the real ones know 95. The real ones know 95.
95 is the better game. 95 is the better game. But 94 was great. Look, NHLPA 93 was great.
Yeah, but it's like the NBA Jam Tournament Edition versus NBA Jam thing. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, but I'm telling you, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, they just improved on everything. It's okay. It's fine. NBA Jam itself is still very good, but TE is just an improvement across the board. And I feel the same way about 94, 95. 94 was like the big revolution, like you said, even though I think the 93 one, the NHLPA or whatever, is a very, very good one.
The year before that was good. The whole series, it was like progressively better and better. And then I thought it peaked at 95. Maybe people mad about the fighting. I don't need the fighting. I don't need
it. Is that the big difference?
They got rid of fighting in either 93 or 94.
Yeah, the fighting was stupid anyway, yeah.
95 I play to this day. I have a copy of 95. And I'll pop that in and own the children. Because they don't they don't know what they're dealing with.
Yeah, no. They don't know about the wraparound at all. They don't know about the one-timers.
Yeah.
They don't know the good teams either. They don't know about Paul Correa and the
you want to be home, so you're going up twice. You could hit the 5-hole goals with down directional button. They don't know. They don't know the teams inside now. Like I could recite the rosters of the NHL teams in 1995, and these guys are all 65 years old now. And I don't know if I can name 5 active NHL players. I really don't think I can name 5. So that's to me it peaked in 95. 96 is funny because I was just starting to be a little hoodlum around 1996. And let's just say a box of NHL 96 fell off the back of a truck.
Oh, my. Okay.
A week before the game came out.
At what was it? What was your guys? Hypothetically, what was your guys local? Like where it was at a video game store, a department store? Where did this hypothetically fall off of
let me
the hypothetical
count,
wagon?
Make sure the statute of limitations is expired here.
Check that.
Let me check the local New Jersey statute.
We don't need to know. I'm just curious with the chains. Well, describe a
Toys
couple
R Us.
Toys R Us.
We had an inside guy.
Or KB Toys. Was it Toys R Us? Was it KB Toys? Who knows? Yeah.
It was Toys R Us. We had an inside man, and we got a couple cases. Because it showed up a couple days before. So
with Van Beesbrook on the cover, a little Florida Panthers action on there.
Is that who was on the 96 cover?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, if I have my memory correct.
So
no. 96. No, 96 is like a member of the Red Wings and a member of the Devils fighting for a puck. 95, I think, is Van Beesbrook on there. No, what is? 97 is him. Wow. Okay, that was a long time.
Off a couple years there,
97,
but
yeah.
I remember getting home with the game, 3-4 days before it hit the shelves. And
you broke Street Date. Oh, that's a no-no.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, I'm telling you, it stunk. Like the players were tall and skinny now. It was just a weird
slow,
game.
Very slow. It slowed down a lot.
They added like the spin-a-rooney was the big thing on the back of the box, like a spin move that you could do, and it added nothing. Like they just. It just, I don't know. It just didn't work. But the plan was to sell the games for $20 a piece to undercut the $50 price tag in the stores. and I added my open copy to the box. I'm like,
this one
I
can go
hate,
too.
I hate
Yeah,
this
one
game.
can go
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Sell this one for 15 open because I'm not interested. I'm going back to 95.
Maybe because the Devils were on the cover, you guys thought you'd maybe make a little bit better of return there.
No, I just my whole thing was just wow, what a win by Rutgers.
I was gonna say,
win.
yeah, look at that.
That got tight. They were up 31-14 at the end of the second half, and Ohio went down the field and kicked a field goal to make it a 14-point game going in. And I was a little worried about that. And then they could not stop this quarterback in the second half, but they edge him out 34-31. It is not going to be a good year for the State University of New Jersey.
It does not. Yeah, that was a lot of work. That was a lot of work to beat Ohio.
To beat Ohio at home, and they, their best player last year was the running back, and he's gone. The quarterback is mid. This is not going to be a great year for the Scarlet Knights, but their total's 5.5, which tells you all you need to know. But I think they can get off to a 3-0 start, and at least that way, you'll be into it the first 6-7 weeks because they'll be 3-3, right? And you'll still be kind of in it. So anyway, getting back to NHL. But in those days, and I've talked about this on the air before, I had that X-Band modem, and I was playing online on the Sega Genesis, and there were tournaments all the time and shit. So, and I just went right back to NHL 95 because that was the big online hockey game in the Sega Genesis days, was NHL 95. 96 never even took off online, and we're playing on 56K back then. And I could tell you that the slowdown, I mean, I don't know, wasn't that bad. Maybe we were just used to the lag, but I don't remember it being significantly slower than.
I think you got used to the lag in a lot of ways. I remember I was a big Dreamcast. I would play a lot of online games. I wasn't a Genesis online game, but I did a lot of Dreamcast online, NBA 2K
on
the
Dreamcast.
Few years
later, though.
Yeah, and it did not improve much. The internet, it was still 56K for the most part. It was still very slow. And I remember it was two different games. You had to be an expert at how to work switching between the two was it. Later years, it became very difficult to switch between the two. Like the PS2 era up into the Xbox 360 era for me was very difficult to play online and then play offline because they were close enough, but then there was just a little bit of lag. Like the baseball games, I remember I was like, I can't play online because I'm too used to the regular, and if I switch, I can't go back and forth, and NBA was a lot of the same. Whereas in those days, this maybe was the case for you, it was so slow online that it felt like a completely different game. Like I got used to how everyone's shot was on the, with that built-in lag or whatever, and then I went to the regular game and it was like a completely different game. So I felt like I was playing two different games when I went online, and I was able to kind of separate the two, and that became much more difficult as high-speed internet became a thing. And then there was just a little tinge of slowdown, and that'd be enough to kind of kill either which way. And then I decided I just have to become one or the other. I have to be either just all online or all offline because I can't keep switching back and forth. But I don't know. It felt like in those days, like especially the PS2 Madden era, it felt pretty much the same. I don't know. I don't remember having huge issues.
Well, with NHL, I was so used to playing online that offline felt weird, and I wasn't as good offline because I was so used to the speed of the online. But by the time the PS2 came around, that was still 56K though. I mean, some people had high speed because I remember on the PS2 online Maddens, it would tell you what
you would
speed
know.
Your
Yeah, it would put all the 56Kers in one room, and then it'd put the high speed internet people in another room.
Because now, when you play Madden or college football online, you don't choose your opponent. You log into the lobby, and then it matches you with somebody. You don't have a choice. On PS2 for Madden in college,
all these kids don't even know about that. The lobby,
it'd be different lobbies, and you could see the person's win-loss record, and then in some of the later games, you could click on them and see their play calling. Like, oh, this person passes X percentage of the time and runs X percentage of the time, so you can kind of filter out the cheesers. If a guy was like a 90%, if the guy won 90% of his games, and he was throwing the ball 98% of the time, he's like, I'm not playing that guy. He's obviously bullshit. He's bullshit.
Right.
So
and there was no cheese lobbies too, so you could go into that, and then but you'd have to double check. You'd have to double check just to make sure. But yeah, That was nice. I love when they added that. And you're like, all right, 50, 51, 49. All right, cool. Yeah, 51 pass, 49 run. Okay,
right.
Yeah, okay, all right.
'Cause back then, I don't know how they do it now. I don't even think there's a distinction anymore. But back then, when we were playing online, it was you either played straight or you played freestyle.
Yeah.
And people respected that. Like if you wanted to play straight, it was going to be like a real game. You had a handshake agreement. We're going to punt on 4th downs until the 4th quarter. It's going to be simulation style football. And then the freestyle guys would stay in their own little lane. They would figure out all the nano blitzes and, they would do all their bullshit and figure out their nano blitzes and play with each other. And even the tournaments back then, it was like, oh, this is a sim style tournament or a freestyle tournament. And I would just stay away from the freestyle tournaments. That wasn't my thing. But it's changed now. Like if you go online and play Madden now, there's no lobbies. You can't pick your own opponent and everything's just freestyle. It's just a free for all. The other thing I noticed, I've been watching this streamer who plays college football and he plays online. No game is played to its conclusion.
Oh, no. Yeah. People just bounce the second they know it's
like,
over. Yeah.
I feel like I can't win. I'm just going to leave and concede the win. Why even play? That's like,
it's such loser shit. Yeah.
It's such loser shit. Like they would have never fucking survived. If you quit games in we sound so old, but if you quit games in our day, which was really only fucking 15 years ago or whatever, you would get a reputation for not finishing games and no one would play you anymore. That's how it was then. These guys get down 1 touchdown. And they're like, well, I'm not getting the ball in the second half. I'm probably not going to come back in this one. And they just dip out.
Insane. Yeah.
And everyone's okay with that. Like the streamer I watch is like, oh, that's a dub. I'm like, that wouldn't even feel satisfying.
No, I would hate that. Yeah.
And sometimes he'll be playing like these really good, intense games that feel realistic, right? They're good games with punting and everything. He'll play a good game. It'll be like 21-21, 20 seconds left. Someone will kick a field goal, and the other guy will quit with like 15. Why not just finish it out?
Try something. Yeah, try it out. Does it not punish you anymore? Because like back in the day, you'd be out of a lobby. Like a lot of time in the PS2 Madden eras, if you quit out of that game, and say you quit out of a game again in like an hour or two, you were done. You couldn't go back online for a day or two. Well, here's what you can do now. They don't just turn the machine off or in our day it was called pulling the plug. You could fuck your opponent by plug pulling, right? You could just yank your fucking internet cord out of the wall and the guy wouldn't get credit for his win, right? No, but what you can do now is you just go into the pause screen and you do concede game. Oh, oh my God, they have a concede game feature.
That's why no one ever finishes.
Because I hate it.
It's such pussy shit.
Come on, just either eat that quit. Or eat the loss, one or the other.
Eat the loss, or fucking just eat the loss. Concede defeat should not be an option unless you're down like 3 scores.
What has happened to the game I love? Are you kidding? Concede?
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. I watch this guy. Sometimes I'll put this streamer on as background noise late at night when I'm doing other stuff. Just because for whatever. And he probably finishes 10% of his games or less. The games never finish. Like they always concede defeat at some point. Like once they get down 2 scores, the game's over. Like they know it too. Like he'll be up a score in the 3rd quarter, and then he'll score a touchdown, and then he's saying to his audience, "Oh, this guy's going to concede," and they do every time.
Man,
because you know what it is? Time is money to these guys. They just want to get to the next game. They don't want to waste time finishing out the game because they want to get to the next game and achieve whatever it is they're achieving when they play. Because a lot of them are playing Ultimate Team.
Oh,
that's the other thing.
They're trying to get cards and credit and money. Yeah,
right. So it's just, all right, I lost. I'm just getting out of here.
Yeah, no, they're not trying to learn the game and try to take a lump and figure out something for the next time out. It's unbelievable.
No, they're like, why am I going to waste another 8 minutes finishing it? But that, like, I find no satisfaction in that, which is why I'm never going back online. Like you said, we had lobbies. You find an opponent, and then you find a guy. All right, this guy, and you could even you'd either send him a message, hey, you want to play? Check out my profile.
Yeah.
Right. Or you would just challenge them, and they would either accept or decline. And I remember in Madden, what was the Falk cover?
03. Yeah, 03 was Falk.
That was the one. I don't know if you remember this from our old haunts, but that's where I had the 49-game win streak. And you better believe I was scrub hunting. You better fucking believe.
Course. You gotta.
Because once I got over 20 straight wins, Okay, because it would track that too. It would have your win-loss record, how many you won in a row. I was like, I gotta keep this going. So I'd go into the lobbies and look for guys that were like 1 in 12 with a 0% disconnect percentage. Because they would put your disconnect percentage.
Of course,
so
that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Those guys that are conceding defeat with 30, they should get a disconnect percent next to their
names. They don't do it that way anymore. Nope, they don't do it that way anymore. So, but the good thing is, if people do just turn the machine off or pull the plug now, you still get your win because of
which is good. But I don't know. I feel like
it was hit or miss back then.
It really. Oh my god, there were some games that I remember just throwing a controller because I was like, motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like you got to pull the plug with 2 seconds to go in the game, and you didn't get a credit for the win or whatever.
And then you would sit there and wait an hour for the server, like hoping that your win would show up,
and it never did.
And sometimes your win would show up, and sometimes it wouldn't. And then you had these other shady guys, like if you were lining up for a game-winning field goal, they weren't plug pullers, they were plug jigglers.
The jigglers, so a lot of NBA. That was a big thing in the Dreamcast NBA. You'd be going for like a three-pointer, and they would jiggle, and you're like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's what these guys would do on game-winning field goals. They would jiggle the cord so the game would lag and stutter, so you'd miss your field goal, right? And then they would try to get you on tilt, so you would then quit, so they would get the cheap win. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you'd have those assholes too. But the disconnect percentage was handy. So what I would do is scrub hunt, and I would go into the lobbies and look for guys with shitty records with 0% disconnect. They were just bad players.
Yeah, just weren't any good.
Bad players. So, and I would fucking shred these guys, and I got it up to 49 wins in a row, and I was trying to get to 50, and all the good players were like, "You're fucking pussy. Why don't you play one of us?" So finally, for win number 50, I don't know if you remember this guy. His user handle was Tim's Giants.
Of course,
him?
Of course I remember Tim's Giants, yeah.
So I'm playing, and he's a good player. So I'm playing Tim's Giants, and he's got me. He's up like 24-14 in the fourth, right? The streak's coming to an end.
So you hit pause and hit concede defeat and ate it.
Absolutely not.
Of course
I will
not.
tell you, but here's what happened. My fucking internet went out.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Listen, and he thought I was being a shitter, right? So I'm like, I promise you my fucking internet went out. So what I did to prove that I wasn't being a shitter and I wasn't an asshole, we just went into another game. I let him go up 7-0, and then we just took knees for 4 quarters. So I'd get my loss. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was the way to see. That's how far we would go back then.
This is how the gentlemanly we were in our days.
Gentlemen and show honor. It's like, no, he beat me fair and square. My internet fucked up. He thinks I'm preserving my win streak. So I'm going to play him again. I'm going to let him get a safety or something. And we're just going to take knees for 4 quarters. So he can go back to our message board or whatever and say that he ended the streak. And I deserve that L because he had me beat. Like legitimately for 3.5 quarters. So that's how it used to be. I was stunned to learn on the PS because I skipped PS4. I stopped buying games at the PS3 era, skipped PS4. I got a PS5 last year, and I was stunned how different online gaming is. It's a fucking shit show. It doesn't even look fun anymore.
No, it's ridiculous. I played NBA. I play NBA online occasionally. I'll try to go on there, and it doesn't last very long. They put you in like. So you get these automatic, it's very strange now. So in NBA, you get like put into classes. So you're like, oh, you just started playing online, so you are in the rookie class or whatever. So then you only play people who are also in the rookie class. And you can only play with like good teams or maybe it's bad teams. Yeah. I forget if it's good teams or bad teams. I forget which one it was or whatever, but it was stupid. So they put you in, you can only play other rookie players. So then I beat all those guys because they were just complete buffoons. And like you said, I would go up like 20 in the second quarter and they'd quit. And I'm like, I mean, it's a basketball game. In 2025, man, just hit a couple threes and it's like we're neck and neck again. Like, what are you doing? You can't go down 20 in a basketball game and just decide you're done. So you'd have to win like 10 of those, and then you got upgraded to like pro or whatever. And then you started playing other people that were pro. And I was like, this is fucking dumb. Like, this is really stupid. And it was like restricting what teams you could play with. And the games were like 3-minute quarters or whatever. And I'm like, what happened to this? Like, come on. Give me a lobby.
People are going to say it's old guy shit. But really, we were far more honorable with this shit in our era. We really were. I mean, the kids today, as I swing my fist, it's bullshit. They're all shitters. They're all fucking shitters, and that's why these games have to be like this. There's not just a lobby with a guy's record.
The thing about the lobby too is you could find people that like. Because I found a lot of friends on those lobbies. I found Mad Mania because of that lobby. They would have lobbies
We're doing
and be
this
like,
fucking podcast
yes,
because
exactly,
of this.
Because I found the Mad lobby. But like, yeah, you'd go and there'd be like Packers fan lobby, and then people would just be talking and jumping in games, and
bullshitting.
And then when the games would start, they would talk, and then you could become friends with those guys or whatever. But yeah, you found lobbies that spoke to you or whatever, and that's one time I found Mad Mania No Cheese or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, and then one thing led to another, and I'm sure I got on the game, and the guy was like, hey, you should join our forum or whatever. And then, I joined the forum. I meet you. Like,
and here we are.
Yeah, it's just like, but that was how it was supposed to be. But nowadays, they don't trust people to do that.
You can set up private lobbies with passwords, so only people you trust and your boys could get in. And that's what we're talking about here. So we would change the password of the lobby every couple weeks. And if you were in that lobby, you were going to get a clean game. You were going to get a clean game no matter what.
And if you did, you'd report back. And if you didn't, you could go back to the forums and say, hey, look, I'm telling you, here's the stats. Here's what he did. And that guy would get sent away.
Right.
You know what I mean? It'd be like, no.
Yeah. And then
you're cheesing, bro. You're out, and then you'd be banned from the forum and out of there. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
There were certain rules, like there were punting rules. Like, you couldn't go on fourth if it was longer than 4th and 5 until it was the fourth quarter. And it had to be like a 1-score game. Otherwise, you had the punt. You had... if you sent the receiver in motion, you couldn't snap until he cleared the line.
Yeah, it's saying on arena football, motherfucker. All right, that guy's got to get set.
Well, it would confuse the AI. If you snap while the receiver's behind the line, it would confuse the AI. So that's go play freestyle then if you want to do that shit. You couldn't nano blitz. All of the known nano blitzes were banned. You couldn't substitute guys out of position, receiver for receiver, running back for running back. You could do tight ends for fullbacks and fullbacks for tight ends, though. Like it was just all. And those were just guidelines that we all followed. And if you didn't, you were booted. You wouldn't get the password next time around. And it was just sim style football. And fuck, man, if you were down 31-10, you finished the game like a fucking man. You finished the game like a fucking man. Okay. But that's the thing. You wouldn't get the score run up on you because we were all classy about it.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to, you know what I mean? Like,
no one's doing a Hail Mary or anything like that. I mean, they're running the ball and running the clock out or whatever. You get the ball back. Yeah, you can pass and try to get back, but yeah, you punt
it was competitive. Don't get me wrong, but we'd also help each other. We'd be like, look, man, you get shredded on this. This is what you need to try differently on defense. Try using your linebacker instead of your fucking defensive tackle. We try to help each other too. And then we'd have tournaments, we'd have ladders, all that shit. It was just, and now you can't, I guess you can't really do any of that now. No. It's just a fucking shit show, So, yeah, it was a lot of fun for about 3-4 years there. And then there was the Vic Madden.
Someone in the chat room, not to interrupt, you said, would you put the backups in? Of course you put the backups in.
Dude, you'd put your backups in because you'd have headcanon while you're playing too, So if I was using the Rams, I'm like, man, I got to get Trent Green some run here. He hasn't played in a few games. Like that's how we fucking do it. I'm like, hell yeah, I'd get Trung Candidate in there.
Oh, God, I love Trung Candidate. That was my guy.
Absolutely. And then we would have leagues where we'd get 32 guys together and we'd all pick a team. And then the rules were the loser would have to write all the stats down and report the statistics to the league commissioner. Like the loser would be responsible for that, right? So of course you'd want to play your backups and get guys in there and everything. And we even had guidelines with that. Like in league games, if let's say your quarterback got injured in the second half, he'd have to sit out the next league game and you'd have to play your backup. So we even figured out a way to incorporate injuries into the league. Yeah, these kids don't know. They don't know, Rich. They don't know how it was back then. This shit was real.
Yeah, we used to do online dynasty for NCAA when they started doing online dynasties in the Xbox 360s or whatever. And we did 1 star. So you had to start out as a 1-star team or whatever. And the goal was to get, to a 5-star team. And some people might say, okay, yeah, because they had the coach carousel or whatever. Okay, yeah, in a couple years I'll be at Michigan. No. We had a rule where you had to stay at your job for 3 years and you could only go up 1 star point. Okay, so you start at Texas San Antonio, UTSA or whatever. And by the time you're done, if with your 3 years at UTSA, they're a 2-star. They've upgraded from a 1-star to a 2-star. You can't go and take the Michigan job. You can't go to Ohio State. No, you got to go to a 3-star. So now you're at Troy or whatever for 3 more years. And it was fine. You know what I mean? Like we got people were doing 25 years in those leagues. Like I forget exactly how long they let you go in those online dynasties, but it would last forever. We would go until the next game came out or whatever.
Well, do you remember the League Daddy site?
Yes.
So before EA let you do leagues like on their server, and
you'd have to go through League Daddy. Yeah.
There was this website called League Daddy where
I'm afraid to Google it right now. Let's see what League Daddy gives me right now. But
so you pay a fee, and it was for all the games, Madden, MLB The Show, right? And then you would input the statistics from your games, and it would keep track of all your stats and your standings and everything for you. So nobody would have to create like a fucking, it wasn't even, I was going to say in Excel. In those days, it wasn't even Excel sheets. We would do HTML in the message boards to put the standings up and everything. So you had to learn like HTML formatting. And that's how we would track our standings and our stats until League Daddy came around, and then League Daddy was doing it for us. Whoever owned League Daddy made a killing for about 5 years.
So maybe it's Daddy Leagues. Was Daddy Leagues? DaddyLeagues.com is still something. It says it's provided.
That might be a spinoff, but it was 1,000% called League
I think so
Daddy
too. Yeah, I'm finding Daddy Leagues, and that looks like a thing, but I remember League Daddy for sure. So I don't know what Daddy Leagues is exactly, but it looks like it's still kind of
started. He was the guy who started that site was a Chiefs fan who was also like a computer programmer or something. I can't remember his handle, but he was from our website, and he's the one who started that. And it was, it would host leagues. It was incredible. And that lasted well into the PS3 era, because I remember being in an MLB The Show league, either on 09 or 10, which used League Daddy still because I don't think MLB The Show had online leagues until either 11 or 12. So, it lasted pretty deep into the next decade, League Daddy. But, and then all these games rolled out their own online leagues, but they all sucked.
Yeah,
like the interfaces were terrible. The stat tracking was awful. College football has online dynasties, but like anyone can join. You don't know if it's some shitter joining. Like, why would you can't play with these shitters. You got to have people you trust in these things. Man, I'm all fired up now.
I know.
Ready to go back and see if anyone wants to play Madden 03.
Fired up, yeah. Madden 03, screw that fucking
that's the thing. Like, I would get a lot of
your PS2. Remember that you had to get the flathead screwdriver in there to screw that motherfucker to the back of your PS2.
Yeah, to get that modem in.
Get that modem in and plug it in. And
I'd get all kinds of grief too, because I would use the Rams because I'm a Rams fan, and they were loaded.
Yeah, that was a tough time to be a Rams fan. They're like, "Oh, cheeser," and you're like, "No, I love them."
Yeah, it was fine though, because then I was legitimately great back then. So I had a backup plan. I would also use the Bengals if anybody gave me grief, and they were terrible.
Is this the Jeff Blake era Bengals or
no? It was Shane Matthews and John Kitna, and I would put Kitna in there. And
yeah,
it was Peter Warwick. And
they still had some talent. You had Corey Dillon in there and Peter Warwick. They had some talent.
Yeah.
Defense is awful, if I remember correctly.
They were one of the lower rated teams, and so I would say, all right, well, I'll beat you with the Bengals then, and I'd beat their ass with the Bengals, but it'd be tricky too. Sometimes in the lobby, if they knew you were going to use the Rams, people wouldn't want to play you, so you had to get good with another team.
Yeah, that was a classic thing too. You get into a lobby in a game, and then they would select the best team or whatever, and you just be like, nah, you back out.
Yeah, you're like, fuck. But sometimes in the lobby, people would just straight up say, like, looking for a game, no Rams.
Right.
You know what I mean? That way. So,
there'd be lobbies that would say no Rams or no whatever the team, whatever the like NBA whoever, would be like, no Lakers or no, you know what I mean? And so you knew, okay, all right, go into this lobby, but no one's allowed to choose the Lakers. Yeah.
Yeah. And when we played the college game, you'd have to be between a half a letter grade. So if I was because back then it was letter grades on the teams. Do you remember that for a college game?
Yeah.
So it'd be like, all right, so we go into the lobby and someone will be like, I'm looking for a game, but only C+ to C- teams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love those lobbies. That's where I learned how to really play the game, because that's where the game became fun for me. I never enjoyed playing with like Ohio State or whatever, or USC or whatever. Never enjoyed that at all. I loved like the CC minus or whatever. So I'm like, all right, let's get in here and fuck around with ECU. Let's find out what the Pirates of ECU have. And then, you find out they run some crazy triple option and their quarterback's got 95 speed or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. But how else would you find that out unless you had to be forced into playing with a C minus team? The good old days.
I ran the Sun Belt League for like 3 years over on the site.
Yeah,
so we all used the shitty Sun Belt teams. I was New Mexico State. And
love the Aggies. Love my Aggies. Yeah, that was always my go-to. That was the one team I started with in that dynasty. Like I said, the 1-star to 5-star league I was in. I had a long run at New Mexico State. Really enjoyed my time in La Cruz or whatever the fuck I think it is, New Mexico. So couldn't get anybody there. But God, recruiting was so hard for that fucking New Mexico State. I remember that.
I tell you, that really was the golden age of online sports gaming. That really, that sweet spot of that PS2 era was really the golden age. And it was all that. Now, everyone plays Ultimate Team. And it's so stupid too, because once the game's been out a couple weeks, everyone has the same identical team because everyone has gotten all the cards.
All the best cards,
They have the best player at every position. So you're playing a mirror image. You have the exact same roster. How is this fun? I will never understand how any of this is fun. It's instead of just going in the lobby and saying, I'm a Steeler fan. Oh yeah, motherfucker, I'm an Eagles fan. Let's have at it.
Let's fucking go. You're 23-2 and I'm 24-8. Let's fucking go, brother. Yeah,
No, now it's we both have to have Deion Sanders and we both have to have Michael Vick and we both have to have it. Fuck that.
Garbage.
What is that shit? And then I'm going to concede defeat when I get down 2 scores.
Garbage. We used to send our fucking memory cards in a padded envelope to a guy.
Yep.
To have him send it back to us. The trust of, here's my memory card. And they were very expensive at that time.
Yes.
Well, for me, I don't know about for you. At where I was in my life at that time, very expensive for a memory card. But every year, especially for NCAA, get those roster names on there. I'd plot my memory card into a padded envelope. Go to a certified mail and hope and pray.
Stick a $5 bill in there, a little tip.
Yeah.
Right. Give him a little money. Give him a little taste. His username on the board was Black Lover.
Yep.
Black Lover. Was Black Lover.
Yep.
This motherfucker, he would get NCAA would drop on a Tuesday, and I'll never know how he did it. By the end of the weekend, he had every player in that game named.
Yep.
Every player in that game would be named by the end of the weekend. Just the typing alone with the controller took X amount of hours, but he would have to look this shit up. In the sketchy days of the internet, he'd have the Street and Smith's yearbook. And
the Phil Steele. I think Phil Steele was what he really used to get.
Yeah, the Phil Steele. And then there'd always be players that EA would be mystery players. And then he would go on the message board.
He couldn't figure out, hey, who's number 10 on ECU or whatever. He's like, I can't find him in the book.
He'd be like, I got a 3rd string guard on Eastern Michigan. He's a freshman. His number's 56. I can't, for the life of me, I can't find it. And we would come together like a pack, a fucking team, and string it together and figure out who that fucking player was. And then someone, would a couple hours later would be like, oh, his name is David Neely. He got kicked off the team in March. And then we'd figure it out. And then he'd have the whole fucking thing named by the end of the weekend. And then we'd all get our padded envelopes and send him our memory cards in the mail. And this guy would get hundreds of memory cards in the mail and then copy the roster onto your card and send it back to you in the fucking mail. And how great was that day when you opened up that mailbox or your parents went and got the mail and you had the Black Lover named NCAA memory card waiting for you. And you're like, hopefully it was like a Friday. You didn't have school or work. And you would just live in front of your fucking PS2 for the entire weekend with these glorious named rosters with extreme accuracy. He would even change like the equipment.
Oh yeah. He'd have the elbow pads. Yeah. This guy's got an arm sleeve and a visor. So Black Lover, unbelievable work.
He was so good.
He was, Fairdale Knights was the other guy too, and it's kind of this ties into just audio and doing audio. So 643 Sports, a show I did with my buddy Lefty John, was like a sports radio show I did. We did it as like a live sports radio show. We never thought that anybody would ever listen to it afterwards. That was our fatal flaw with that, is we would go live on like Tuesdays and Thursdays or whatever, on Tuesday or Thursday nights or whatever, on Blog Talk Radio, but we never thought that the show could be listened to any other time besides when we went live. Like, we thought it was like terrestrial radio. We weren't sure just yet. This is like 2005 to like 2009 or whatever. So the idea of, make a show that somebody would want to listen to the next day, you idiots. We didn't think of that. We were like, no, we're live right now. And then when we're not live, you're not going to listen. So I remember I messaged Fairdale Knights. He was on the Operation Sports forums, and I messaged him, and I was like, because he was the guy who, once they started doing online rosters, he would have it out before anybody else. He would do the day of. He would have it ready the day of. It was insane. So I asked him,
I got news for you. That guy's still out there.
Is Fairdale Knights still kicking? Good for him.
If you go on the college football server right now and look up sliders and playbooks, you'll see his name.
Oh my God, incredible! So so I messaged him and I was like, "Would you want to come onto our show when you're ready with and officially announce that the rosters are ready?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it," or whatever. Dude, we had so many listeners that we got on, and usually we had 20 people listening live, or whatever. We had 20,000 people listening live, and he was like, "They're ready," and he's like, "I just hit enter," and everyone's like, "Yeah." It's so good. He got it done. This dude would get it. He would find out where it was available. He probably got it. He probably had a hookup, like you said. He probably was able to break street date from somebody or something like that, but he couldn't tell you that he was doing that or whatever. But yeah, he'd be like, "The game's been out for 11 hours and the rosters are ready," and everyone just went nuts because nobody wanted to play, nobody was ready yet, and we got spoiled. Like you said, Black Lover, it took him a whole weekend, and then however long it took for your memory card to come back, and then Fairdale Knights changed the game. He's like, "I got him ready 12 hours after the game dropped," or whatever. It was just unbelievable time. Yeah,
you couldn't start a league or a dynasty without the names. You had to wait.
No,
how can you play?
I'm not going to play with Florida QB number 15. Get the fuck out of here. No.
And then the roster game got dirty because other guys would enter the roster game, but then you know what Black Lover would do? He would put little Easter eggs in his rosters to catch the guys who were stealing his rosters and claiming they were doing the work themselves. So what he would do is he would find some backup defensive tackle on Toledo or something, and he would change his cleats, or he would intentionally misspell the last name, right? And then he'd keep an eye out for that Easter egg, and he could catch all the guys who were just stealing his rosters and claiming them as their own. The guy, because people figured out you can make money doing it, because if you send someone your card, you would always tip them a little, so you'd be getting these envelopes in the mail all week long with $10 bills, $5 bills, $20 bills, and you clean up. So they started stealing his rosters and getting in on the game, and then claiming that they had better, more accurate rosters and all this. But he got ahead of that by sticking the Easter eggs in there. And then those people would be, they'd be blacklisted. They'd be banished. But I felt bad for Black Lover because he was a Toledo fan. And remember Chester Taylor was the running back for Toledo, and he played for the Vikings later on. For whatever reason, EA put the 2002 game out or whatever, and for whatever reason they didn't include Chester Taylor.
That's a big
Toledo roster.
That's a pretty big miss, yeah.
And it was this poor guy. He does more for the fucking community than anyone, and they fuck up his team. We felt terrible. And I remember he was like, "Can I just create Chester Taylor? Even though, will you guys be cool with that?" And we're like, "Do it. Put him in the game. We know you're not going to cheese him. You're going to make him the correct way." So I remember the Chester Taylor controversy.
That's wild. That's a wild miss to miss Chester Taylor. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was a guy then. I knew. Obviously, he made it in the NFL. I don't know if he was.
No,
a guy
he was one of the best running backs in the country.
That's what I thought. Okay, I thought he was still pretty good then. Okay.
EA just whiffed on that shit, man.
Poor Black
sometimes,
Lover, yeah.
Sometimes they whiff,
I love Shermanator in the chat room goes, "Getting mail from someone named Black Lover is wild," and it was. And I was 13 at this time. Too.
Yeah,
think about you were of a decent enough age to be
young adults.
Yeah, I was very young, telling my mom I have to send this memory card to Black Lover to get. You know? I would, I wouldn't let her know I would do it. I'd wait for her to leave, and I'd ride my bike to the post office or whatever, and do it. But I don't know if it came back and his return address was Black Lover. I forget what his shoot name was, but I don't.
Well, no, it said Black Lover. Yeah,
Did it say Black Lover? Yeah. Good Lord.
He used the P.O. box, of course, because he didn't want
come on
thousands of people knowing his home address. But I think he was just an 18, 19-year-old kid at the time, and I don't think he had a job. I think he just sat there when the game came
Black
out.
Lover. We got to bring him on the show. What's he doing?
I would love to track him down. I'm sure he's still playing the games. I mean, we're still playing the games.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't he still be playing the games?
It's true.
The guy was a fanatic, you know? But man, did he enhance our experience?
Oh, he has no idea what he did for the world.
He probably does know, but I mean, I don't know if people who weren't around then understand, like one person like that, or this dude that did it for Xbox, the guys on Operation Sports that would do it later on. I mean, they just totally enhanced the experience for everyone.
Well, I mean, here's what they did. They basically made it such a big deal that NCAA made it easier and easier and easier to get the rosters. And that ended up kind of fucking them in a big way, because then, you know, it was obvious to, you know, with the lawsuit of like, you guys are clearly doing these rosters like on purpose. Because I don't know if I forget when the transformation happened, but at certain points early in the days of the rosters, the announcers wouldn't say the guys' names. You know what I mean? Then forget when it was, but I remember
if you change the names, they would say certain names.
All of a sudden, Tebow and you know, and I was like, that's a little interesting. That's a little.
And it's like that's not exactly a popular last name.
Yeah,
either.
The one that I always remember, and I was like, oh, come on, you didn't have Brent Musburger get in the booth and say this name just in case this was someone's last name. There was a. I'm not going to say the full name because it is a slur, but there was a Florida State wide receiver named Ducote, and his first name or his last name started with the letter F and ended with the letter G, and there was not many letters in between. Let me tell you that. So
there's two G's.
It was two G's. It was two G's, and there was another letter in there, and I'll let you fill in the gap. And,
well, I mean, that's his name. I think you could say it and get away with it.
But I'm not. But
it's his name, Rich. Just say his name.
I'm not going to say it. But Brent Musburger said his name, because then I remember we got the rosters and I passed it to him, and Brent Musburger says this man's name, and I'm like, whoa! I'm like, oh, come on!
Yeah,
like he didn't get in the booth and say, I'll just say it just in case. Like, maybe because it's one thing if it's Johnson or Smith.
Right.
Or Thomas or whatever, but no, we were going Tebow and Leinart, and it's like, oh, these names are not. And then that one I was oh, come on, I'm not saying it. I am not saying it, sir. I am not.
Well, you've seen the guy on Eastern Michigan this year, right?
Oh God, yeah.
You saw that name?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
He was in the latest roster update on the game. People can Google that one if they want.
Yeah, go. What's his?
I am definitely not saying that one. So I'm not saying that guy's name. So I mean, did they say it? I haven't tried.
I don't know.
They have to say it's his name. They have to say it.
Yeah. Tough day in the booth for Jesse Palmer. He's like, I'm not doing it.
Collar tugging. Yeah, for Jesse.
Chris Fowler and Jesse Palmer are like, no, I don't know about that one. Yeah.
Nope. Sitting this one out.
Right.
We're going to call that guy the Sam linebacker.
Yeah, the Sam linebacker from Eastern Michigan. Yeah.
Great play by that Sam linebacker.
Right. Oh, Black Lover. Fairdale Nights. God. Good old days. God, I miss it. Man,
I miss it so much. I really do. I miss it so much. You know, I'm happy playing my little dynasties by myself.
Oh yeah, it's fine, but it's not the same. Yeah. Well, and then I did this with my buddies, man. You know what I mean? Like when those rosters would come out, we would just go over every summer night, and we would just play these games just over and over and over. Every Friday night we'd get together and play them over and over and over, and just like, man. Well, we'd play online with each like. We just pass the controller around. You know what I mean? This guy, it'd be your game, and then it'd be my game, and then it'd be your game or whatever. We'd go get on the headsets and just laugh, and it was just like insane. Yeah,
dude, fun. I had professional wrestler, big deal, Craig Steele, lived in the same apartment building as me, one floor up, and he would come downstairs to play NHL 95, and we were so used to the online speed that he would go back upstairs to his apartment, and we would play online from like 30 feet away.
Yeah.
Because we were more accustomed to the online speed. That's how stupid it was, you know. It's like, we're not used to this. So go back to your house. Let's play online, even though you can literally just, play right next to me. So, yeah, man, a lot of fun. But like the boy, he plays Fortnite all day. He'll remember that in 15 years.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, there's new memories.
His friends will be talking about Fortnite, and last week he's like. He was grinding for some skin. He had to get to a level 100 by a certain date to get some free skin that they were offering. And you couldn't break his concentration for like a week. He'd come home from school, drop everything, go.
All right, good. I'm glad that still happens. I appreciate that a little bit.
Yeah, and he'd be like, I got to get to level 100 before the 21st or whatever the fuck it was. And he got it. And then he comes home to get his skin, and they're doing a patch, and he couldn't log into the game. Oh. He's so annoyed. He's like, what is this? His eyes were tearing up. I'm like, no, it's just a patch. It's not you. As soon as it's done, you get in there. And he got his fucking skin. So, that's the memories they're making now.
Right.
We were waiting for sketchy.
Yeah. Our memories were better, though. Our memories were objectively better. But those memories are good, too, I guess. I mean, he's not getting padded envelopes from Black Lover. That's all I'll say. All right. I mean, which is probably good.
I'm not a very good parent if that's happening.
Which is probably for the better. But
he's playing Fortnite and the fuck's the other one? Roblox.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The Roblox.
Are kids ever going to play a different game, or is that the only two games they're ever going to play forever?
Well, here's the thing. Fortnite keeps changing the map and shit to keep it fresh. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And plus, it's a free download. So the parents don't have to pay for it. The game is free. And if the parents don't want to give the kids money for the V-Bucks or whatever, the experience is totally free. And you can grind for shit instead of paying for it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Roblox. This shit's free. And the thing with Roblox is there's like 40 games inside of Roblox. Like Roblox itself isn't a game. There's like games inside. You see what I'm saying? So it keeps them occupied to where no. So to answer your question, they're not going to play something else because these games stay fresh and keep them occupied. And the thing with Roblox is they can play cross-platform. Like the girl plays on her iPad and she plays her friend down the street who's playing it like on like PS4 or something, but they're in the same game. You see what I'm saying? So they don't even need to be on the same systems or the same. They don't even have to both be on gaming systems. They can just play whatever. So no, they're not going to move to anything else.
They're going to stay there forever.
Yeah, they got it figured out.
Yeah, free to play is the new life. All right, let's get into some professional wrestling here. We got a number of professional wrestling topics to get to, including on the show, we're going to do NXT Heatwave, featuring a nearly identical finish to MJF versus Adam Page from Forbidden Door, but that's NXT Heatwave. We'll get to that when we review that. We're going to preview. Yes, there's another WWE Premium Live event this week. I can't believe it either. Clash in Paris, the final on Peacock. The final one on Peacock, the last of the... And let me tell you, it looks like a card that they're just playing out the strings and trying to get done with their the amount of content they need to give Peacock, because this is not like a very good show. But hey, what WWE PLEs are any good these days anyway. Hey, Death Before Dishonor, ROH Death Before Dishonor, we'll preview that. That is also this weekend. We'll also look at a little bit of the upcoming New Japan schedule. All Japan's got their King's Road tournament going on as well, so a couple other things that we'll get to, time permitting as well. But hey, I should plug this. Since we just got done talking about college football and video games and stuff, College Football Intelligentsia, available right now on Flagship, Patreon.com, the season preview of the college football season. You and Tyler Forness getting deep in the weeds on all of college football, week 0 review, season previews all across the board, teams to look for, top players to look for. Anything else you want to plug for that College Football Intelligentsia? I really enjoyed it. I just got done listening to it earlier today and really, really enjoyed it. But yeah, anything else that I didn't mention there that you want to tell people?
We do it every year. People like it. Tyler knows what he's talking about. We preview season 1. We review week 0. We preview the season. So about 2.5 hours. And then throughout the season, whenever we both have time, we'll pop in and do more. So I'm putting together the crew for the NFL Intelligentsia season preview for next week. I do that every year as well. So just working out some times and dates to get that recorded. So, that'll probably be out. I'm going to try to have it out before Thursday, because there's a game on Thursday. So I'll try to have it out before that Dallas-Philadelphia game on Thursday. So look for that next week.
Also on Flagship, Patreon.com right now is Restoring Power, how to revive Billy Corgan's NWA. Tell me a little bit about that.
All right. So I told you I was writing that, right? So we did that MLW roster analyzation about a month back on the Flagship, maybe 2 months back. And people seem to like that segment. So I said, I'm going to do one for the NWA, but I'm going to do it in written form, because I think I can articulate myself better that way with it. So I took the time to watch a lot of footage and catch up on it and see a lot of the wrestlers that they're using that I haven't seen. So it's actually it's a history piece on the history of Billy Corgan's Lightning One NWA, which we covered from the beginning. We've been covering the NWA on this show since before Lightning One bought in, since before Bruce Tharpe bought the NWA, and then through the whole Bruce Tharpe era and through the whole Billy Corgan era now. So I don't know if there's anyone more qualified to write a history of Lightning One era NWA than we would be.
No, we were talking Cahagas, man. I mean, yeah, find anybody who talked Cahagas and is still talking NWA.
Yeah, we go back before the Corgan era. So the piece is it's a brief history piece on the Lightning One era of the NWA, and then I break down how I would fix it and make it a fun watch again, because it hasn't been fun to watch in a long time. So, but I keep it based in reality and what their realistic budget would be and what the current ecosystem in pro wrestling is. It's very easy to just say, well, I would get The Rock away from TKO and make him my champ. No, it's none of that bullshit. It's realistic changes that I believe that they could realistically do if they wanted to, and the people that I include in the article were agreeable. So that's the way I approach it. And people seem to have really enjoyed it. People who don't even pay any attention to the NWA are praising it because they feel like they learned something about the NWA, and they enjoyed reading my process and my thought process on how I would improve it. So I don't want to give too much of it away.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I'm letting some of the roster go. I'm bringing in some new people. I identify who I would build. Did you read it or no?
I have not read it yet. No.
All right. So I want your opinion when you look at it I identified who I would bring in and slowly build as the future NWA world champion. I'm curious your opinion on the person I picked, because I think it's kind of out there, but I think you will see it and nod and go, oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I like the way you're thinking, Joe.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'm planning on reading it tomorrow. I've been busy the last couple of days, but planning on reading it tomorrow and excited. One thing I would do, I don't know if you've offered this up in the column as well, not have 20 match shows and then spread them out over the next 9 months.
One of the first things I change in the article.
Yeah, let's maybe change that, because they just had their 77th anniversary show, I think 77.
77, yeah.
And they taped 19 matches or 17 matches or whatever.
18.
But we were told in the chat room, we talked about NWA last week, and someone said they haven't even gotten to the last taping they did, where they also did. And then there's another taping coming up in a couple weeks now. So it's like these things don't fucking air until like a year later. Like the 77th anniversary stuff is not going to air until like January. It's insane.
And that's their big show of the year. And I addressed that in the article. By the time they air a lot of this stuff, the wrestlers have moved on to new promotions. Titles have changed hands multiple times. It's a disaster. It's impossible to follow. So yeah, I address all that.
Okay,
I address I address what I would do with the TV. I address what I would do with the big shows over the course of the year, and how I would spread those out, and which ones I would keep and which ones I would get rid of. I address the roster, obviously, all of that. So it's pretty deep. It's pretty intensive. And even if you don't like or follow or pay attention to the NWA, it's fun to read as an exercise of how to fix a dying brand. Mm-hmm. I think so, and follow my thought process, and then agree or disagree with some of my ideas.
And it's a brand we just can't let die. Like I'm so glad that Billy Corgan has kept the NWA alive, but we cannot let those 3 letters go away. You know what I mean? Like and that's, I think, a big reason why you and I so badly, we talk about it all the time, and I think we so badly root for the NWA in whatever iteration there is, because I don't want to live in a wrestling world where the NWA is just gone, where it's just, it's just dead and it's a thing of the past. Like we just can't let those 3 letters have to have some sort of importance in wrestling forever. I truly believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we've always covered it until recently when we stopped. But look in your Slack chat and don't give it away. Don't give away the payments here. That's who I bring in, and for a long-term build to a future, to be a potential future NWA world champion.
All right, let's see. Loading. It's taking forever to load here. Let's get.
Got the Slack window open? Jeez, you gotta have that window open.
Not now. I got to keep my. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Oh hell yeah.
Like the way I'm thinking?
With and the width is included. The width is going to be there.
Of course. Oh, he's coming in too.
I'm in.
Yeah, and starting from the bottom, slow build. Slow build to that guy in a program with the Thrillbilly Silas Mason.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
I mean, come on. You want that or you want Tom Latimer and EC3? What do you want?
Mike Mondo. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want?
I think I like yours. I like yours a little bit better. But
by the way, another spoiler. Yeah, I get rid of Mike Mondo too. By the way.
Come on. He just resigned. You can't get rid of Mike Mondo.
We don't need him. He can hit the bricks.
You don't need Mike Mondo in the year 2025.
Him and Hammerstone. Gone.
Yeah.
History. So anyway, people want to read that. It's $10 tier.
Yeah, flagship Patreon.com. Also, the Thursday Dynamite review with a little bit of some hum. Who knew that you were going to start the Thursday Dynamite review with some hum in there and talk about the memories of the ECW arena? So that was a fun listen. I did listen to that this morning.
Well, I everyone knows I'm getting bored doing the Dynamite review, and I'm trying things to re-energize myself, So I just tried something a little different, a little musical interlude to get into it. I'll do it every week now. I got a bunch of songs lined up. Some of them shocking. People got to get to know JL a little bit here over the next couple weeks.
Hum surprised a lot of people. They couldn't believe you were a Hum guy. Yeah, I think in the chat they were like, I didn't think Joe would like Hum. They're too emo-y. And I was like, he's pretty. Joe's a little more emo-y than you think.
Fucking stay tuned. You're going to be shocked what's coming. To kick off the Dynamite reviews. Next week's going to blow people's minds then if Hum was a surprise.
All right, let's get to some of this wrestling show. Let's start out with Heatwave, WWE Heatwave, WWE/NXT Heatwave from the Lowell Memorial Auditorium in Old Lowell, Mass. This was the WWE Premium Live event trying to go head-to-head-ish with Forbidden Door. I guess it was a couple hours after Forbidden Door. We teased on the Forbidden Door Instant Reaction Live, which I guess I should, one more plug, and then I promise we'll go to the show itself. If you are expecting a review and a recap of Forbidden Door on this show, you are in the wrong place. No. You got to go to the $10 tier, flagshippatreon.com. We did it immediately following the show, almost 2.5 hours or 2+ hours. I forget exactly the length. It was over 2 hours. I know that for a fact. Reviewing, recapping, talking all about Forbidden Door, a little bit of a rant about a certain spot, some anger about the MJF versus Hangman Page, some praise for Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel McGuinness, and all the ups and all the downs and everything good and everything bad of Forbidden Door. And that is available on the $10 tier of flagshippatreon.com. So yeah, if you were looking for a review of Forbidden Door, that's where you're going to want to go for flagshippatreon.com, $10 tier to listen to that. But Heatwave. So again, as we kind of teased on that show, we were not going to do an instant reaction of Heatwave on that night. No, we were going to wait until today to do it. And here we are.
Should we open with Heatwave or should we open with this HBO Max thing that kind of sort of
sorry,
broke?
that I
wasn't on the run sheet. So.
Right, and I had a busy day today, so I did not. So what's going on with that? Because you're going to have to clue me in a little bit more. We should start with that. You're right.
All right, so by now everybody knows that on September 20th, WWE's running head-to-head. We talked about it last week, right? They're running head-to-head with All Out with their debut on ESPN. WrestlePalooza, right, is going head-to-head with All Out. So obviously WWE and TKO, they're going full-on trying to basically put AEW out of business. Let's be honest about it. They don't even want them in the game. Okay. They want to suppress those salaries. They want the full market share. This is why they're, purchasing AAA. This is why they're partnering up. And we didn't really talk about this, but now we know that there's a clause in their TNA working agreement that they have the right of first refusal to purchase the company, similar to what they did with Progress and WXW years ago. So, look, there's a possibility that they may own Impact TNA at some point. So, and now, they've been running head to head with AEW pay-per-views, with NXT pay-per-views for a long time. We saw the debacle that was the Atlanta attempt to run 3 shows opposite of All Out, and how that kind of backfired in WWE's face. But see, the thing about it is WWE doesn't care. They don't care if running head-to-head with AEW takes away viewers from their own shows, because their shows are bought and paid for. it really doesn't make a difference. In other words, the money from ESPN is guaranteed.
Right. They get kicked off of NBC because of their shitty performance on Saturday night's main event, mostly because of things that they were doing and that last Goldberg one. But it doesn't matter. They just go. They get exclusive on Peacock. Okay, fine, whatever. We just got a bunch of ESPN money, so we don't fucking care. On to the next.
Right. The ESPN money is guaranteed. So what does it matter to them if some people choose All Out that day? It doesn't matter. Right. Whereas AEW is under the pay-per-view model and every pay-per-view buy matters. If WrestlePalooza siphons off 5, 10, 20, 25%, 40% of AEW's pay-per-view buys, that's an increasing number. That's a escalating amount of revenue that AEW loses, and pay-per-view is their, second or third most important revenue source at this point. Behind the media rights deals are obviously number one, and you have live ticket sales, and then probably pay-per-view. So WWE is going after him from that standpoint. Now, with the WrestlePalooza thing, the first thing I thought of was, well, look, let's face it. At some point, AEW is going to sell their pay-per-view package to a streamer the same way that TKO has sold off the UFC and WWE pay-per-view packages. That's really just a matter of time anyway. And my thought process was, if WWE is going to start counter-programming AEW pay-per-views, that'll probably just expedite Tony Khan to find a deal and sell his pay-per-views to a streamer, right? He sees that they all overpay WWE and UFC at every turn. Paramount's going to lose their ass on that UFC deal. We all know that. They have no chance of making money.
That deal's absurd.
I think the ESPN deal for WWE pay-per-views isn't a good deal either, although it's not as just disastrous as the Paramount deal. And we've talked about this a million times. These companies make these deals knowing they're going to lose money. They don't care. They just want inventory. And, and we've discussed this topic frontwards and backwards. The one thing I don't understand about it, and we've talked about this before as well, if I'm ESPN or if I'm NBC Universal, when they were on Peacock and they counter-programmed AEW shows, I would step in and say, no, we're paying you $500 million or whatever it is. We want the full audience possible. We don't want to split an audience with AEW. But it's just crazy to me that we saw the same thing with Peacock, and now we're seeing the same thing with ESPN. ESPN is paying all of this money for these shows. Why are they not stepping in and saying, no, don't run September 20th. We want to maximize our audience. Run September 19th. Run September 27th. But it's amazing. It's either the people who run these companies are either painfully stupid or they're in on it with TKO and want to put AEW out of business.
I think it's the painfully stupid more than anything. I think they just don't get it. They just don't understand the industries they're getting involved in, but it doesn't make sense. It reminds me of, in the late 80s when WCW and WWF were going head-to-head on pay-per-view and they were running the same days and they were doing, okay, if we're going to make Survivor Series that goes up against Starrcade and then, we're doing this against this day or whatever. And the cable companies called both of them out and were just like, you guys need to fucking stop this. This is fucking ridiculous. Like, we're trying to sell as many pay-per-views as possible. Put your show on a different fucking day so we can sell 2 days of pay-per-views, but do not put them up head to head. And they really stomped it out. They really stopped. They told both companies, quit this shit. This is stupid. We don't give a shit about your dumb little competition or whatever. We're trying to make the most money possible, and this is a huge revenue stream for you. So don't fuck it up, or else we're going to take you guys off pay-per-view. And that was it. Both of them got the picture. Then WWE didn't do that anymore. WCW stopped, and of course, Jim Cocker Promotions went out of business or whatever. So things happened the way they did, but it really took the cable companies telling them quit this shit. So the cable companies were enough aware at that time to know that this was stupid. So
they were making money off the pay-per-views.
Yeah, they're saying our cut is getting, and I think that's probably the biggest issue too. Is a lot of these streamers cut these deals and then kind of wipe their hands of it and they don't look back again because they know the return on investment isn't anything that they're going to be able to check on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis or whatever. The ESPN is going to pay.
I don't know, man. If I'm paying WWE that kind of money,
I would put somebody in charge and say, hey, check this shit. Make sure what's going on. Make sure it's on the up and up. Make sure we're maximizing everything that we can get. But I don't know. I just think they're painfully stupid to answer your question of what they are.
I would want unopposed. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I also think what's probably happening is Nick Khan and these guys are going into these meetings with these people and they're saying, hey, look, AEW is not a serious business.
No.
Our fans don't pay any attention to AEW. Our fans don't care about AEW. And we can assure you that you're not going to lose one viewer if we just happen to run the same weekend, because these weekends are just convenient for us.
Right. We present a completely different product than them. We are sports
Right.
entertainment, and we're an extravaganza, and they're, a fly-by-night company run by an idiot.
A kid.
Yeah,
the kid.
A kid. Yeah,
he
kid.
calls him. The kid.
Right, the kid.
Even though they're like 4 years apart. The kid, he calls him.
Kid.
So, I think that's what's happening. And I think that's where the people running these streamers are stupid, because we know that obviously both of these companies hurt each other when they're running head to head in terms of viewers, ticket buyers, pay-per-view buyers, all of those things, and that there is a significant crossover, but your guy running Peacock or your guy running ESPN isn't aware of that.
Right.
And when Smooth Talk and Nick Khan comes in the room with his team of smooth talkers from TKO and assures them that we're the industry leader and they have their own little audience that's devoted to them, but it's niche, and you're not going to lose anything with us, they listen to him. Okay. I think that's how it's being played out. But circling back, I think that the answer to WWE attacking one of Tony Khan's most profitable income streams, the pay-per-view, is obviously for Tony Khan to sell his pay-per-view package the way WWE does. And then, like WWE, the money's guaranteed, and it really doesn't matter if WWE runs head-to-head to that point and they split the audience. That's just biting off your own nose to spite your face by WWE at that point, because Tony's money is then guaranteed as well. So I thought it would just expedite that process. And it happened a lot. And that was going to be the big theory I was going to espouse on today's show. And then this news kind of sort of broke, which I didn't have a chance to look like, Quasimodo here and predict it, because it looks like it's happening. So Andrew Zarian, who, look, I hear he's a nice guy. I've had limited interactions with him, and we had a very pleasant conversation or two in the past. And I'm not being sarcastic. Everyone I know who knows him says he's a nice guy, a good guy. But man, is he annoying when he has a story. It is infuriating. And it's so he puts out a tweet with the HBO Max logo today saying there's going to be some news coming out of Max very shortly, right? Now, because it's Andrew Zarian and because he covers pro wrestling and because he's been a very reliable newsbreaker on the media side of pro wrestling, right? Because of the connections he has, everyone knows this is going to have something to do with AEW. But instead of just spilling it, and he's done this in the past, he just puts out this vagueness because for whatever reason, he's afraid to break it. Or maybe he's afraid of being wrong if his information's bad. I don't know what it is, but it's really annoying. I mean, it's irritating. If you know something, report it. If you know something and you don't want to be the one to break it, then don't say anything.
Right. If you don't know the full story,
simple.
Then don't say anything. There's many different ways to go. Yeah.
If you're not confident in the information, then don't say anything. Okay. This vagueness, it drives you nuts. So he sits around and waits, and someone replies, "Oh, I don't really care about this unless it's AEW converting their pay-per-views into PLEs on Max, right?" And then he replies to that saying, "Well, then I think you're going to care about this." So basically, he waited around for someone to reply with the right guess so that he could half measure confirm it. And I'm sorry, I find that very irritating. It's annoying. I know that wrestling isn't his primary job, and he probably doesn't give a shit enough to do things the right way or in a less irritating way. But buddy, you're essentially putting your name on it and confirming it anyway. So why not just report the fucking story at that point? Why are you waiting around to reply to somebody's tweet? I find it it's that eyeball emoji shit.
Yeah,
that I thought we had largely gotten away from.
We really seemed like it had tempered. We had lessened it a little bit, but yeah, I hate to see that it's back. It's just
come on, man. I mean, if you got
either
something,
say it or say it. Either say it or just don't. You know what I mean? Like it seems simple.
Or don't say anything.
Right.
Or say, hey, look, this is what I'm hearing. I can't confirm it 100%, but this is what I'm hearing. He has enough of a reputation now that I wouldn't have a problem with a report like that. I'd say, oh, Zarian's hearing that they might have something cooking here. And if it doesn't happen, no one, you're going to have dummies and come into your mentions and tell you that you're a liar. But who cares? Just ignore them. People that matter know that he has a good rep with this stuff. It's almost like it's just people are too concerned with what the worst people on Twitter are going to say
Always.
to them or say about them. And the further you remove yourself from that world, the less you fucking care about it. Rich, you came to me with something. I'm not going to say what it even was, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You came to me with something last week and you were like, oh, people on this thing are saying this, and there's this clip from our show up. Do you want me to do? And I was like, Rich, I don't give a fuck. I don't care anymore what people on Reddit or Twitter or any of these places, if they clip our show, if they put something up that we said, I don't concern myself with it anymore. I'm watching baseball and playing with my kids. Who gives a fuck? If I put something on this show, I'm confident in it. And what that revolved around, I'm confident in what I said on the air because it came directly from the fucking locker room of the company involved. I don't give a shit what people are saying on Reddit. And it's like, that's my point. The further you remove yourself from this stuff, you can't be gun shy because you're worried about some fucking troll saying that, that who gives a shit? But anyway, the point here is it looks like something could be cooking in the direction of AEW pay-per-views being moved to HBO Max. Maybe Tony got them to now they were supposed to start on Max at some point, right? We know that much. But it looks like maybe with WWE running head-to-head now, that maybe Tony sat down, had a conversation, and got them to just pay for them outright and remove them from pay-per-view.
Yeah,
and
that's a possibility.
Developing story.
Yeah, is there any possibility too? And again, this is the problem when you have eyeball emoji news. And is it possible that this isn't an outright sell of the pay-per-views to Max, but rather Max now has the ability to purchase the pay-per-views on their platform? We're not going to, because for Tony, he might also, and I think ultimately the end goal is going to be someone just give me a big bag of money and then you have all the pay-per-views. But I do wonder if it'd behoove Tony to at least try this, or Max to try it, of still being able to buy the pay-per-view on Amazon or payperview.com or Fight or whatever, but also purchase it on Max for $20 or whatever. You can purchase it on Max or whatever. I don't know. That seems like a could be a possibility. I'm not saying.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah. We just know that something's cooking.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't know the detail. It could be. We don't know if it's going to be an old ESPN Plus UFC style relationship where you have to buy Max and then once you're behind the paywall, then buy the pay-per-view. Or we don't know if it's going to be the WWE style of if you subscribe to the streamer, you get the pay-per-view, right? I don't know. It's just, it'd be nice if Zarian would just say what he knows. I mean, that's kind of why I opened it up this way, but I guess we'll find out in the coming days. We do this show live on Thursdays. Yeah. Maybe by the end of the weekend, maybe if you don't listen to this show until your Monday commute, the story will be more fleshed out. But look, the bottom line and the point is this: it's an inevitability that AEW pay-per-views are going to go to the WWE model at some point.
At some point, for sure.
It just makes too much sense because you can make more money and you don't have the pressure.
It's guaranteed money.
Yeah, it's guaranteed money. It's not, are we going to do 100,000 buys? Are we going to do 130,000 buys? No, it's just the money's in the bank, man. It's guaranteed money, and it's more money. And obviously, you're not going to make the deal unless it's more money than you can gross selling the pay-per-views. And it's always going. So I mean, that's where it's going to go. And it's funny because it's entirely possible that that TKO worked themselves into a shoot here and forced Tony into one of those deals to where it's going to be better off for him anyway. They may have cornered him and forced him to make a deal where he's going to make more money than he would have made on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because they insisted on
going
more
access and arguably, I mean, undeniably more access to his major shows, which are still the best thing that the company does, and the thing that gets, the consistently best thing that AEW does is their pay-per-views. And they may have worked themselves into a shoot, like you said, and it might just be, hey, if you're a Max subscriber, you get access to AEW pay-per-views, and many more people that maybe don't want to spend $50 on a pay-per-view now start watching AEW pay-per-views, and Tony gets a big bag of money because of it too, which would be perfect. It would fall right in line with, we just made a big giant deal on ESPN, but you know what? And we do all this sort of stuff, and we're forcing you go head to head. But we also lost our NBC thing. You know what I mean? That's kind of what a lot of these deals that WWE has done, and that's something that we've talked about a lot. A lot of these deals are just let's get to the next deal. Let's get to the next deal. We don't give a fuck what it does to our past partners. We don't care what it does to our audience. Just get to the next deal, get to the next deal, get to the next deal. And people are waiting and hoping and praying that one day it'll be the downfall. I don't know if it will be, but it does show that like as these deals go on, WWE does tend to find themselves kind of stepping on a rake a lot of these times too. Now they step on a rake, and the rake is, billions of dollars in a deal. So it's not a bad rake to step on, but it is still pretty funny how a lot of these deals, like the ESPN deal, basically pisses off NBCU. NBCU says, well, if you're going to leave, if you want to leave Peacock early, then we need some concessions on our end. And you know what? We're going to take you off NBC as well. But, again, they don't really care because they get a big bag of money.
Doesn't matter. WWE doesn't care about any of this.
Well, and I always try to tell people about this too, is it's not the current people that run WWE right now. They are cold, heartless, soulless capitalists at its purest form. Vince McMahon thought he was that, but he was never that. Vince McMahon thought he was Ted Turner, and I'm this, and I'm that. He was a guy running a very successful family business, right? Like, that's what Vince McMahon was. He thought he was a big shot. He thought he was Mr. Wall Street. He was a guy running a very successful family business that he inherited for pennies on the dollar. Okay, that's what he did. These dudes are fucking sharks. And you know the thing about these guys? They don't give a fuck what the health of wrestling or WWE is in 10 years.
No.
Half these guys won't be there. You think Ari Emanuel's going to be a TKO lifer? Fuck no. He'll be on to something else in 10 years' time. I don't even know if Nick Khan's a WWE lifer. I mean, who knows? I mean, he's
Nick Khan. Nick Khan will stay there as long as he can keep making money.
Right. He is good enough where he might just stay there. He probably won't get bored. He's ascending to different levels of power. He's probably fine.
But the next opportunity that he sees where he can make more money, he'll be gone.
Right. Or the NFL says, hey, that guy's making a lot of money for this fucking wrestling shit. What can you do for us? And they,
when he's contractually able, when his, balloon, how all that shit works. They keep these guys in place with balloon payments and all that. Yeah. But you get the idea. Of course, yeah.
None of these guys go up and down the TKO board of directors. None of these dudes are lifers. None of these guys bleed TKO or WWE or whatever. Paul Levesque does. Paul Levesque, that's the only business he could ever get into. But half these other dudes would be perfectly fine if tomorrow they got an offer from insert sports league here and they would bounce tomorrow and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go to, it's
more advantageous for them. Absolutely.
Yeah. So these guys don't give a fuck. They're just looking for that next deal to sign while they're in charge of the company, but they don't care about the long-term health. They don't care if it pisses off this person and this person and this person. They don't care if fewer WWE fans are able to watch the shows. They don't give a fuck. They sign an $8 billion deal or whatever. That's all they give a shit about. All they care about is
all these counter programming deal moves that they make are very anti-fan. It's bad for their hardcore fan base that only cares about WWE. It doesn't matter, but a large chunk of their fan base does watch both promotions, and they make it very difficult for a large chunk of, and like you're saying, they don't give a fuck. Doesn't matter to them. They're just ruthless, cutthroat, and they want to hurt AEW any way they can.
Yeah, they just want to hurt competition, in whatever form it might be, Yeah, Mark Shapiro. You think Mark Shapiro is going to be there for fucking no?
So how many pay-per-views a year does AEW have now? Is it 10 or 11?
I think it's 11, right? I think they got up to 11 this year.
Let's go with 11. So if they're doing 11 pay-per-views and they're averaging 120,000, I'll do some back of the envelope math. I know you love that phrase.
Yeah.
So if they've got 11 pay-per-views and they're doing 120,000 buys, that's 1.32 million pay-per-view buys per year times $50 is 66 million. Let's just do a 50-50 cut, even though we know it's not. It's not 50-50. They're grossing AEW is grossing about $33 million a year in pay-per-view. Okay. Back of the envelope math. Let's call it 35.
Let's call it 35. They're going to get a bigger deal than that from Max.
Okay. If Max comes to Tony and says, if Tony can cut a deal with Max or somebody else, and it seems like he only wants to deal with WBD, because he made some interesting comments on the ROH presser today that I don't know if you saw. But if someone comes to him and offers him 50 per year, he's taking it.
Of course, yeah.
He's taking it. Okay? Because now you don't have – that's it.
That pressure's gone. Yeah, the pressure is off to deliver.
You don't have to add more pay-per-views to the schedule. You don't have to worry about selling more pay-per-views. You don't have to worry about how you're spacing them out. You don't have to worry about being counter-programmed. And here's the other thing. These WWE pay-per-views are still technically pay-per-views. You can still buy them in a lot of places, right? I don't know about the new ESPN deal. That might be exclusive.
I wonder, can you still buy a WWE pay-per-view?
You could when they were on Peacock. I'm almost positive.
They were Clash in Paris. Can I purchase? Let me see if I can purchase Clash in Paris. Yeah.
See if it's on your system. But the point is, he can even cut a deal like that where they're still on pay-per-view. You know, you might get less guaranteed money with a deal like that. Plus, United States is not the only market in the world either. You could sell your pay-per-views in other places. There's still other revenue streams for these shows.
Yeah, I can't find Clash in Paris. I think once they went to Peacock, I don't know.
Did that go away with Peacock? I might be wrong about that.
Yeah, because it says streaming exclusively on Peacock in the United States or whatever.
So that went away with Peacock. But, the point stands. I mean, you have other markets outside of the American market that you can still sell these things to. It's just, look, it was always going to go this way. If someone offers the money, you'd be a fool not to. So that could be where we're going with that. But that wasn't on the run sheet because that all broke. But the thing Tony Khan said today on the presser, someone asked him again about an ROH TV deal, and he said that he has had offers and he's had discussions. None of them made sense. And I'm paraphrasing him, but he essentially said that he would prefer to do business with WBD. So I don't know what the Shockwave thing was. Who knows if it was Fox, like a lot of people thought it might have been. But whatever it was, Tony balked. And it seems like he just wants to be loyal to WBD. And I guess he feels like that is always going to pay off in the end. I think that's a risky game. I think all of these people are cutthroat. I don't know if loyalty matters at all in this world. In that world, I mean, well, maybe in the world overall, but I mean, in the television and media rights world, I don't know.
No, hell no.
He seems to value loyalty or think that they're going to value loyalty.
Yeah. The thing is,
if you could get money for ROH, why not?
Just get money. Yeah, get something better than what
unless
you're
they
doing.
were shitty real American wrestling level deals where you're on someone's secondary
Fox
streaming
Nation.
or something.
Yeah, you're on Fox
Nation streaming. Yeah. That you don't take.
Right. That's embarrassing. I'd rather just keep it on my own thing. Yeah.
It's a bad look. You keep your own. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather make a little less money than even go to something like that. So if that's what he's turning down, that's fine. But I don't know if he turned down real deal television deals that would have put him on TV. Man, out of some kind of loyalty to WBD, unless they wanted to run head to head with AEW, that wouldn't make sense. I wouldn't do that either.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
If they said, we will put you on Fox Nation on Wednesdays or whatever.
All we have is Saturdays from 8 to 10. Well, I'm not doing it. I can't do that.
Yeah.
He probably can't legally do that anyway, let alone not want to do it. So I don't know. You got anything else on this, or do you want?
I don't. Yeah, I would just say one thing for loyalty or whatever, and I understand that Tony has that loyalty to WBD. Here's the thing: WBD might not exist in the form that it currently exists in a year. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen to any of this shit in a year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever? I mean, there's rumors that the Paramount parent company, Skydance or whatever the fuck, is interested in buying half of WBD, and then recently they split WBD and they switched. There's so much going on in this world that I would basically say that if you are a content provider, you have to do whatever the fuck you can possibly do, whatever you can do to try to get the money. Just get a deal. You know what I mean? Just get a deal. Do whatever you can do to get the money and get your shit up there, because it's not just a loyalty thing. It's also just that nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Nobody knows what this thing is going to look like in 2 years, in 3 years, in a year. Well, no one's going to know what's going to happen in a year. A year ago, we thought Venue was going to be the big thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Venue was the new thing that was going to happen in ESPN and Fox and all this stuff. And we didn't know that this ESPN flagship thing even existed a year ago. And now we know. So it's impossible that having that loyalty, I mean, I appreciate that. That's cool that Tony does that, but I think you have to look at, like you said, cutthroat. You got to be a little bit more cutthroat. And I think that's one of the things that Tony does suffer from a little bit, and why we always say that he's losing that war to WWE, because those guys don't give a fuck. They are cutthroat, ruthless. They don't give a shit. And Tony is just kind of booking his wrestling show. You know what I mean? He is a one-man show for the most part, booking his wrestling show and running his wrestling company. And it's like, you are in a war here with these guys that are just absolute ruthless, cutthroat sharks. And I think being loyal to WBD, I mean, it's great, but guess who runs WBD? they're probably more of the ruthless, cutthroat sharks than they are the loyal guys like you. So, I putting all your eggs in one basket and yeah, I get it, but I also think that you got to be careful too, because they could just get a bug up their ass, or Zaslav gets fired, and then a new guy comes in tomorrow and says, I'm done with all this shit. This is stupid. And you're gone.
Well, that's what happened to WCW.
Yeah, exactly. Case in point, WCW.
Maybe
AEW would be a little tougher to throw off the air than WCW, because WCW was bleeding money, whereas AEW isn't bleeding money, so and is doing good ratings or whatever. But yeah, for the most part,
it wasn't bleeding money for. I mean, it was different because
they weren't paying for it. Yeah, the WWE owned the company and was like, "What the fuck is this item that we're giving primetime television to that's losing a bunch of money?
That does nothing.
We're
but
out of
lose
here.
Money.
Yeah.
We're done with it. Jamie Kellner, the whole nine. So, I obviously Tony has gotten offers for ROH. Anyone who thinks a guy with his track record of producing winning pro wrestling television, and that's exactly what it is, wouldn't get offers for another one of his shows is crazy. But maybe the money offers he was getting were negligible increases from what he's making off of the ROH service. And he just figures, well, I don't want to compete with WBD for a negligible amount of money, for a small increase in revenue versus what we're making, just selling direct to consumer, right? That's possible too. Because I don't know, if I was worth the billions that he is worth, am I scraping for every nickel at the risk of annoying somebody that I need to keep my other thing in business? Probably not. I'm not scraping for every nickel either. If Chris Harrington does the math and we're going to net an extra $50,000 or something, an extra $500,000, I might not do that either. It's got to be a significant increase over what it's generating now in order to annoy my current television partners. So
yeah, they don't have that leverage yet, and I think that's one of the issues too. Is that AEW just doesn't quite have that leverage to walk in the room.
TKO does,
yeah, and burst into the doors and say, "This is what you're going to give me, and this is what you're going to do, and here's all my guys that are going to convince you that this is the right idea, or whatever." I mean, TKO has that puffy-chested leverage, and AEW just doesn't.
And UFC and WWE have that reputation where they could still go sell it to someone else.
Yeah,
these
they
are
don't give
established
a fuck.
brands.
They don't, and we'll go anywhere. Yeah. We don't care.
Right, we'll go anywhere that gives us the money. So, Tubi, here we come.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Tubi. Hey, speaking of, I guess, is it on Tubi? I forget what weird thing Evolve is on. Isn't it Tubi?
Evolve is on Tubi.
Evolve is on Tubi. Well, real quick, and someone did mention this in the chat room, and I should point it out. WWE ID. We haven't talked about WWE ID in a while, which is probably not a good thing. Because when we first talked about WWE ID, we were like, whoa, here's this thing that could totally transform wrestling. And it has not, Joe. WWE ID has not transformed wrestling. And this week, they released 3 different talents from the WWE ID program, which does not leave that many people, because it wasn't a very big talent roster anyway. But Aaron Roberts was released from the WWE ID program, as well as Ice Williams and Jordan Oasis was also released from WWE ID. And I just real quickly, some people wanted us to talk a little bit about this, but yeah, when they launched in late, I think it was October of 2024 or whatever. I mean, I wrote a lot of articles for FlagshipPatreon.com, and they did they got linked up with the different training schools or whatever. And I was like, oh man, wow, this could be a thing. I mean, we've seen what they do in these different markets and what they saw in the UK, and if they link up with training schools and if they do this right, I mean, this could be a thing that really, really affects, the talent pool that AEW has access to, can really affect the indies. And we're coming up on a year, and none of that has happened. It's been very low effort, very poorly done. They have they're out of sight, out of mind. People aren't booking the wrestlers the way they thought they were. We were wondering, these guys, are all these indies going to bend over backwards and book these guys? What happened is it seems like the American indies smartened up to what's happened time and time and time again, and are just not booking these guys. We remember Gabe's tweet before WrestleMania weekend of basically begging people to book his talent on WrestleMania weekend, and very few of them got booked. And they did a tournament that lasted like 9 months that nobody gave a fuck about. They're on Tubi with Evolve. Nobody gives a fuck about that. It's just I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on where? I mean, because I think we're getting to a point now where they might be looking at this program and saying, okay, this is not going well, and that's why we're releasing a couple people. I don't know if they're going to add new people, and that's what's happening here, or what the fuck's going on, but it's got to be a little worrisome that we're now coming up onto a year, and this is just not, the WID program is just a complete non-factor.
I get the sense that TKO doesn't care about it. WWE doesn't care about it.
They don't give a fuck about it.
They don't put any effort into it because the fans definitely don't care about it. It gets zero buzz. Who are the Evolve champions off the top of your head?
Oh God, I have no idea. I don't even know who the ID champ. I think Kylie Ray is the women's ID champ, and I don't know. Did they even book the fucking? Did they ever finish the tournament?
They have. I don't even know if the tournament's over. They have ID champions and they have Evolve champions. It's all very confusing. It's a mess. No one cares about any of it. Nobody talks about the Tubi show. Even the hardest of the hardcore, Fed head losers on Twitter, they talked about the Tubi show for a week or two, and even they threw in the towel. So it's just no one cares. No one follows it. No one gives a shit. It has no buzz. I think the ID wrestlers were getting booked early on when the program started because I think a lot of these indie promotions were like, wow, we get to put WWE on our poster.
Yeah.
And all of this. But then they realized that when you bring Ice Williams to town, WWE logo or not, no one cares and it doesn't sell any tickets. So I think that's why the promoters don't care anymore. The fans clearly don't care. And then it's a trickle-down effect. I just don't think it's working. You see them cutting people. The word that I got, like third hand, granted, I'm making it clear, this is like third hand, from someone in the program was that, look, we were told from the start that these are essentially 1-year deals. And if you don't get over, you're going to be let go. So maybe these 3 cuts are just people who,
which of these guys are over though? You know what I'm
that's
saying?
That's the thing. None of them have gotten over.
Right. Like,
is
it's Gal over? Is Aaron Rourke over? I mean, who knows? Who knows? Is Bryce Donovan over? Nobody knows who any of these people are.
Yeah, I mean, someone's saying it's a Gabe Sapolsky vanity project. It's definitely not a vanity project. He's an employee of WWE carrying out marching orders. I don't think it's that doesn't describe a vanity project at all. I mean, a vanity project would be something where he's doing it on his own and doesn't care if he loses money. That's definitely not the case. He waited his whole life for this job, and this is the task they gave him, and it's just not working. No one cares. And I don't even think his bosses care.
No.
You don't get the sense that WWE is really all that behind it. They never talk about it on their TV. Now, look, they're not going to waste Raw and SmackDown real estate on breaking down the WWE ID tournament. I get it. You would think they would talk about it on NXT. You would think they would bring Marcus Mathers onto NXT now and then to have a match and, introduce him to the WWE fans and, plug where he's going to be on his next. They just don't seem like they care. So, no, it doesn't seem like it's going well. And now they're starting to let some people go, which is obviously has to be concerning to the other people who have the deals. I talked about at the time, I thought that they were very good deals for the wrestlers. These weren't the $20,000 deals they were getting in Europe. These were, $40,000 or $50,000 deals, I think.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, somewhere around there.
With the ability to keep taking indie bookings. I mean, now all of a sudden wrestling became the full-time job for these people because now they're making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year versus, whatever they were making with their shoot jobs, which for independent wrestlers who are trying to make it as pro wrestlers are never significant jobs because it's such a hassle. Right. For the employer.
I have to be off every Friday and I got to leave early on Thursdays and I can't, it's, I know people that have been in that and it's very difficult because most employers are not, because you're probably going to have to be gone on Friday or you have to take a half day on Friday to go drive to a show or whatever. And you're exhausted when you get to the show.
Thursday or whatever. It's just, now if you're a 40 miler or a weekend warrior who just likes to wrestle for fun, or you do it as your fitness, or you just like to wrestle, those kind of independent wrestlers can have great jobs because they're going to put their job first over the wrestling. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying that all of the well-known, quote unquote, full-time indie wrestlers have never had great shoot career. We've heard situations where they have, which has actually slowed down their progress because they've been hesitant to give
a lot of guys. Yeah. A lot of dudes. Yeah. There's probably a local guy that you're wondering, why has he never made it big? And the reason is I work at my job until 4 on Friday, and then I drive to the show, and then I'm good.
And I make $110,000 a year with full benefits.
Yeah.
So why I'm not throwing that away to go, go move to Orlando and make $60,000 with no benefits. So that's kind of the push-pull these guys get into. And then, you end up being a local legend, and that's fine. They're probably better off. They're better off.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, no, this just doesn't seem like it's working at all. Do you think, Triple H probably gets a report every week that he glances over and then falls up and Kobe's it into the fucking trash can and doesn't really pay? That's the sense that I get. So, could be way off, but do you get the sense that anyone really gives a shit about
I don't think anybody gives a fuck about any of this stuff. It completely out of sight, completely out of mind. And like you said, I don't, even the sickos don't talk about Evolve. Like, I don't know anything that's going on in Evolve. I don't, like, for a while, Griffin Peltier was watching Evolve. I don't even know if he watches Evolve anymore.
He's probably in the chat. If you're in there, let us know if you're still watching
Evolve. I mean,
Joe
even
Gagney watch it.
I was going to say, that's exactly the name I was about to bring up. I was going to say, even the sicko Joe Gagney, who watched every single match that ever made tape on 205 Live, every single match, every single episode of 205 Live, I don't think he's even watching Evolve. There's no way. There's no way he's watching Evolve. I mean, what is the percentage have to be if nobody in our circle whatsoever, and we're among the hardcore of hardcores in our Discord and everything like that? Because I don't even think if you're a WWE sicko, if you are like would you even? I mean, would you even know Evolve exists? Because they don't, like you said, there's not even a mention. I get that they're not going to. They're not going to have they're not going to be on Raw and discuss. Oh, hey, this Thursday or this Wednesday on Tubi, go watch it. Like, I get.
Yeah, we know they're not going to do that, but should they?
Probably. And then NXT NXT should be like you said,
absolutely.
NXT should constantly say the next. Right now you're watching the next. The next generation of WWE superstars. Well, the earliest generation of WWE superstars, the next one's up, or people that are aspiring to be one day on the NXT stage are wrestling every week, tomorrow on Evolve, on Tubi or whatever, but they never mention anything. Or like you said, put Marcus Mathers up there and say, hey, there's Marcus Mathers. He's pretty impressive, right? You can watch him every single Wednesday on Tubi. They don't do that. They don't bring any of these people up on NXT television, and that blows my mind. And they did it for a little bit. When they first launched it, they did it a little bit, and it felt like very much like a Vince McMahon project, where Vince he gets all excited about something. We saw that with 205 Live started, and those fuckers were on Raw. They were in like the third hour of Raw every single, and he was like, "God damn it, 205 Live is good." And then a month later, he gave up on it, thought it was stupid, thought it was dumb, gave up, and then just wiped his hands of it completely. That's Evolve felt like that for a little bit on NXT. It was like a big deal. They talked about it, they mentioned it, and then gone. And now it's just completely gone, completely out of sight, out of mind. They signed up no new wrestling schools. They signed no new wrestlers. It's all stuffed on Tubi, and indies are pretty much not booking these guys. So it's just a disaster all the way around. Just an absolute disaster all the way around. And they have one less training school that they're now signed up with as well. I don't know if you want to talk about that story real quickly.
Well,
but
we weren't. People wanted us to, so let's.
All right.
Here's the thing about
what am I going to say about it? Yeah. Okay. So
set it up and
this is the Psycho Stu Raja Jackson thing, which there was somebody in our chat, and there was somebody in our Discord, and I forget who it was, but they actually piqued my interest a little bit. What do you think of this conspiracy theory? So there was the Psycho Stu Raja Jackson thing, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, happened at a WWE ID affiliated school / promotion, Knox Pro, which is run by Rikishi, and I forget the other guy that runs it, but it's in Southern California. It's run by Rikishi, or Northern California. I forget exactly where it is, but it's Knox Pro. They're WWE ID affiliated. That has since changed. You cannot find any reference to WWE ID on Knox Pro's website. You can't find anything on WWE ID's program about Knox Pro. What do you think about the theory that they released the wrestlers to make sure that any search and any sort of algorithm or whatever would go that way first if you type in WWE ID and not say anything about Knox Pro? Do you think they care enough about the ID program that would be the case?
Very, very conspiratorial. I would say no, because it's not working. Because the incident with Jackson is a far bigger story, and if you're looking for that, if you're looking up WWE ID because you're looking for that, you're just going to scroll right through the release of Ice Williams and find the Roger Jackson story. Right. So it's no, I don't buy it.
And that story became. I mean, I got like 15 texts this week from people that know that I know deep wrestling stuff, but they're very casual wrestling fans. They keep one eye on it, or some that don't barely keep an eye on it at all. And they're like, hey, what the fuck's up with this? So I had to explain it over and over again. So to set up the story real quickly is it happened at that Knox Pro Indie show. It's all on, it's all streaming on Kick or whatever the fuck. I think that's the name of it.
I never heard of it. It's some
I'm so glad to have no idea.
It's some Twitch-like service.
Yeah.
Where you can stream, but apparently it has a lot less governors and rules than Twitch, where Twitch has rules. This thing is more do whatever the fuck you want.
Right. It's more the Wild West than Twitch. Twitch has rules and standards in terms of service or whatever. And Kick is the, hey, we don't have any of that stuff. So Raja Jackson is the son of Rampage Jackson, famous MMA fighter, famous UFC fighter, a member of the August 1 Warning. Guy that was in the ring when Tito Ortiz debuted and crossed his arms and looked. And then Rampage Jackson went, oh no, and looked and kept looking. All right, so he is at this indie show and something happens with these two guys backstage or whatever. I forget exactly what it was. And the idea,
a beer can, or he mushed him with a beer can or something.
Whatever the fuck. Yeah, something happened and Raja had to get calmed down a little bit. And one particular wrestler told him, hey, when you get out in the ring there later with him, you can give him a little receipt or whatever, which is a classic wrestling thing. Hey, you're a little pissed off at a guy. And this guy knows nothing about, Raja Jackson knows nothing about wrestling, by the way. If people are wondering, he is not trained. He's untrained. He doesn't know all the other intricacies of it or whatever. So he might not fully know what a receipt is, but obviously a receipt is like, hey, some guy did something for you. You get in the ring there and you give him a little stiff punch in the rib or something like that, or you give him a slap that's got a little extra kick to it or whatever. Just let the guy know.
A little potato action.
Just let the guy know. And trust me, it happens way more often than you think. Go to an indie show and you can see it a lot. A guy will drop somebody a little higher on his back than he thought, and maybe punch him a little too rough, and then the next guy will come up and give him a little punch that's a little too rough or whatever. That's a classic pro wrestling thing, and something that I've never had an issue with. I think a receipt is especially when you're doing this cooperative thing, it's kind of an idea. It's something to say, hey, you fucked up, don't hurt me, here you go, just a little bit of a little eye for an eye in most cases. But usually it's a pretty simple little punch, a little kick that's a little stiffer, a little slap that's a little stiffer, just something like that.
Still not 100%.
Right. 100%. Right. So then then we jump ahead to this angle where we get to the main event or whatever the heck's going on in the show, and then Raja Jackson I don't think it was the main event. I think it was just later in the show, but it was because they sent everybody home afterwards. Raja Jackson picks up and slams this guy on the mat, this Psycho Stu wrestler on the mat, and he's out. You could tell he's knocked out. The back of his head whips against the mat. He's out. And then Raja Jackson basically just goes to town on his face and his head.
Over 20 punches in the face after he was already unconscious. Now, it's a couple key details here. We've learned a lot more about this because remember, he was streaming himself live all night.
The entire time.
They shook hands and buried the beef on whatever the beer can incident was. That's an important detail. Okay? So the Psycho Stu guy thought it was all water under the bridge. Now, he was aware that Jackson was going to do a run-in, okay? That was all pre-planned. He didn't know the guy was going to shoot on him. That's the discrepancy here. Here's the other thing. We know that Jackson seemed to be okay with them mending fences over the beer can thing, but then he got wound up by the people watching the stream and other people that he knew saying, you can't let this guy get away with this. You're going to let him get away. People wound him back up. And then there's footage of him saying on the stream, this guy doesn't know it, but I'm going to get in there and I'm going to fuck him up for real.
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing, but he's dead in court if they pursue charges on this. I mean, he hangs himself out to dry with his own words and his own actions on this stream. Okay. He makes it clear that it's premeditated, basically. I mean, I don't know the aggravated assault laws in California specifically. Okay, because they're different in every state and all that. The difference between battery and aggravated battery and assault and aggravated assault and all these things.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, but I would say I'm going to fuck this guy up for real on a stream to thousands of people, and then you fuck him up.
And then doing it.
Yeah,
right.
It feels like it kind of feels like a smoking gun.
Right. You'd have to know the particulars of the different charges in different states to know. I wouldn't be completely surprised if you could even get him on attempted murder. I mean, it was premeditated what this guy did. It's completely indefensible what he did. He went in there, said he was going to fuck the guy up, picked him up and knocked him out. And the guy was cooperating because
he's done almost immediately after that.
And the guy was cooperating because he thought they were just shooting their little angle, and he thought that he was going to be working. But he picked him up and knocked him out, and then he punched him over 20 times while he was knocked out with full force, with the intent to injure him and get his little revenge or whatever. And after he stated that that's what he was going to do. So I don't know what people want me or you to say about this.
Yeah, that's it.
He's obviously completely beyond the pale and completely out of line, and he belongs in jail. He doesn't have this doesn't feel like someone who has very much, who has any control over his emotions. He has very little emotional maturity. He feels like a very dangerous person who doesn't belong walking the streets with normal people. If that's how he reacted to having a beer can thrown at him or mushed in his face or whatever, after shaking hands and hugging it out with the guy, especially. I mean, the response doesn't fit the initial crime, so to speak. You know, you want to get in the guy's face and say, "Don't throw a fucking beer can in my face." Okay, I understand. Okay. But he assaulted the guy and put him in the fucking hospital. He belongs in jail. And that's real. I don't know what else you want me to say. There's no counter argument here. I can't accept the counter argument. It's completely out of line. And I don't give a shit what Rob Van Dam or Mark Henry or any of these psychopaths
showing so much ass. These fucking idiots showing so much ass this week, for God's sakes.
Now, I don't want to sit here. I'm not going to say that Rob Van Dam and Mark Henry are saying things to get attention or get clicks or anything, because I hate when people say that about me. I have never said anything on this show with the intent of getting attention or getting people to click a video. I say so I'm not going to accuse them of that. I'm just going to accuse them of being fucking idiots. And Van Dam clarified on his podcast. I listened to a little bit of what he had to say, and he didn't defend Jackson for what he did. Straight up, and Mark Henry clarified what he said, but there is no other take to be had other than this man belongs in jail. That's it. That's the only possible take. He was completely 1,000% out of line. That's it. There's nothing else to say. There's no but. There's no but.
You probably don't have to give your hey, you know what? I have a different opinion about this. Like it's on video. We all can see it. This is the one.
Literally said, "I'm gonna go kick that guy's ass and give him." We have him on tape. He streamed it,
and it's pretty gross. I mean, I watched the video. It's pretty gross to watch. It's like, it's one thing if it's after one punch or two punches or whatever, and you go, "Oh shit, the guy's knocked out." Okay, sorry, and then you get out. Like, that's one thing. It's just a boom, 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 boom. Like you said, it's nonstop, and the guy is very, very, very clearly out immediately. So it's like, what? Now we're just getting absolutely out of control here. You don't need to have an alternate take on this one.
He's saying now in the chat makes a good point. He's claiming now he said it in kayfabe. I'm sure he is, but his actions tell us that it wasn't in kayfabe. It's one thing to say, "Oh, I was just playing a role on my stream," but then your actions were the complete opposite.
Yeah. And now we get into wrestling, and this is how wrestling in the court of law has always been very, very weird about a lot of stuff, because it's like, well, yeah, what's real and what's fake, and what are they? But I would say, I'm going to fuck this guy up for real, and then you go and you fuck the guy up for real. Yeah, even if it was in kayfabe, your actions were matched what you were saying in quote-unquote kayfabe.
Hey, shit, even if you didn't mean it, you still did it.
Yeah.
How about we just start there, right? He can, even if he plays the angle of, "Oh, well, I was untrained, and I thought I was just, I didn't know the guy was knocked out." Ignorance of the law is he still did it. He literally beat the fuck out of the guy and put him in the hospital. What does it matter whether I don't even think like the charge and those sorts of things would be affected by the intent, I guess. But, there's someone in the chat, and yes, it's someone in the chat. But, we're being told in the chat that premeditation isn't required for felony assault in California, just the willfulness.
I think Verb Abrams, he knows what he's talking about. Eric and Verb, if they're telling you law stuff.
We got some lawyers in the chat.
They know what they're talking about. Yeah. So,
it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just, this is an unstable individual is what I saw. What else, so people wanted us to talk about it.
There you go. But yeah, I don't know what take I was gonna. Yeah, there was no take I could give other than
what other take
it was
is
gross
there? I mean,
and disgusting to see.
I think you have to be a fucking psychopath to have another take. I mean, to me, there's no even gray area with this one. But maybe that's what people wanted to hear us say. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But there you go. We said it.
You heard us say it.
There it is. We said it. So, all right, let's get to Heatwave. We've kicked the can down the road long enough. 2 hours into the show, let's get to NXT Heatwave.
Well, you've got to be a psychopath to have enjoyed this Heatwave show.
God, this was rough. Yeah.
God, it was bad.
NXT, man. What a fucking disaster NXT is. So let's just start at the beginning. We'll start at the beginning. We joked on the Instant Reaction Live. I love the idea of calling their show Heatwave in late August when I think in Lowell, Mass, the high was like 71 degrees or whatever on the day that they ran the show. Like, you got to do Heatwave in July. You can't do Heatwave in late August.
Why don't we start with the fact that they had the house lights turned all the way down because nobody was there?
It was
How about we start
dark. It was dark in the Lowell Auditorium, and that is not
we've seen shows in this venue before.
Yeah.
It's not the normal lighting for this venue. Rich, there's nobody there.
Nobody gives a fuck about it. Did you see the? I mean, the ratings for NXT, they've really gotten to a point. And people are starting to pay attention now that these ratings of NXT have just cratered.
The down card demos. Did you see that? Dave Meltzer reported that females 18 to 34,
4,000.
They drew 4,000 viewers this week. No one watches this show except for horny old men.
Yeah.
We're right back to where we started, where it's nothing but horny old men. I mean, and this show is designed...
for the record, we don't know that they're horny. We know that they're old men.
I know that they're horny.
We can assume.
Why else are you watching this?
I agree. I agree, but we don't definitively know that these are horny old men. We know that they're old men, and we can reasonably assume that they are horny. Yes, I don't disagree that we can reasonably assume. I just want to clarify that we do not know for a fact that
that's
they're horny.
Rich's stance. He's making that clear. I think it's nothing but old perverts watching NXT, because why else would you watch this fucking show?
Rossi Ogawa's watching?
Rossi Ogawa is the only that's it. Him and his friends are the only people watching it. There's no other reason to watch this show, and nobody else is watching the show. This show is produced and designed to attract the youths, and young women refuse to watch this show.
Just not watching it at all. Yeah,
Rich, 4,000 viewers is within the margin of error. There could be zero.
It could be zero.
Women,
it could, yeah, with the Nielsen, with the Nielsen, yeah, it could be. It could literally be zero women, 18 to 34.
And the reason is the show is fucking terrible.
It's putrid.
It's putrid, irredeemably bad bullshit is what it is. It's overproduced WWE wrestling with a bunch of green people who don't know what they're doing. Remember, for a while, it was like, hey, wait a minute, this isn't really developmental. All these people have experience. Well, that really is not the case that much anymore. It's really a lot. There's plenty of that too.
There are a lot of people that have experience, but they're all boring or bad, I think. Because
that's true too. When you're dealing with Ethan Page as your
that's the thing is, it's like, I think there's a lot of experienced wrestlers on this show. I think there was a time period very recently where it was a bunch of untrained people, but a lot of those people are still on the show, and we're 2 years.
Remember that one pay-per-view we reviewed, and out of like the 16 wrestlers on the show, 14 were experienced veterans.
Yeah,
and we were like, this is not even developmental anymore. This is like just a show, But now I don't know. It's more of a mix now, but the show is just awful, and that's why they don't draw anymore. They didn't draw in Atlanta. They didn't draw here. They had the light. It looked like a fucking low-budget indie show on Peacock with the lights. I mean, it was dark. It was fucking dark in the ring. It was dark around the ring. It was like, and it's really striking when that's a WWE show that looks like that.
And they've
NXT is always bright and vibrant.
Yeah,
all these primary. God, it was pitch black.
It was
no one was
pitch
there.
black in that arena. Yeah, and it's what's funny too is that the whole idea about 9 months ago or so, or no, it was a WrestleMania weekend where they started this, where they did the let's call these things WWE shows. So maybe we can trick some stupid dad to buy tickets to WWE Heatwave and bring his kid to watch, developmental or whatever. That's clearly not working. You look at the ticket sales and you look at how dark this, like, people know the score now. No one's getting fooled into thinking that they're buying tickets to a WWE show when they're in fact buying tickets to an NXT show. So that ploy has not worked. They haven't figured out the make a good show and don't have Ethan Page be a push commodity on your show. They haven't figured that out yet. So they keep trying to figure out other ways to trick people into watching the show when in fact maybe just make a better show, have a good show would be an option too. But Chef Michaels is apparently clearly incapable of doing that. But let's go to the opener here. NXT Women's title #1 contendership triple threat match. Oh, yes. Multi-person matches. I absolutely love it. Lola Vice, Jada Parker, and Kalani Jordan. Lola Vice gets the win, defeating Jada Parker and Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan, and I wanted to point this out, she was somebody that about a year or so ago, I had this thought that she was very ambitious. Remember, she would have these matches, she would do a bunch of crazy stuff and a bunch of ambitious stuff, and it was like, she's not really learning like she's doing these big spots and they're very giftable or whatever, but she's not learning the between the ropes. She's not learning how to have that extra charisma or whatever. And it was people would watch a GIF and say, wow, Kalani Jordan's her, like she's going to be the next big thing or whatever. And I kind of thought, I see it there. There's a lot of potential with her. She's just got to get better and she's got to learn how to actually work. We're a year later now and she is not over at all. Nobody gives a fuck about her at all. She doesn't know how to work. She doesn't know how to do any connective tissue between her spots, and then she does her spots and she fucks up half of them as well. She was someone that felt like a no-doubter that now at this point I'm like, oh yeah, no, there's nothing happening with Kalani Jordan. She's a zilch at this point. And Lola Vice and Jada Parker, I mean, fucking forget it, both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have high hopes for any of these three. I guess if they go to the main roster, it doesn't matter. As long as they cultivate an online fan base and get the people in the arenas behind them, that's really what it's about. And maybe they can be. I have no interest in watching any of these people ever wrestle.
No,
that were in this match.
And this was such a performative, like it's a triple threat match, and this is why we got so annoyed about Forbidden Door, that women's match on Forbidden Door, which I thought was okay, but had a lot of these. Every time it's like, oh, there's 3 women in the ring, so here they are, countering each other and doing these. They're rolling through pins, and then another person's pinning the other. It's all this same shit that we've seen 1,000 times in these triple threats and 4-ways and multi-person matches. Nobody learns how to work in this. Kalani Jordan's not going to learn how to work doing a triple threat match. Jada Parker's not going to learn how to work doing a triple threat match. They're just going to learn how to go from one performative, multi-person spot into the next performative multi-person spot, and that's all this match was just.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got her pinned. Wait, no, here comes Kalani Jordan from the top to break it up. And then we're doing it's just, it's all the same.
Just one spot after another. There's it's not a match. It's just one spot after it. But, and in the first, and after 6 minutes, the crowd does, it's time to chant, "This is awesome."
Yes. Kalani Jordan did a 450. Awesome. Let's do "This is awesome" chants now. Yeah.
It's time. It's the time in the match where we chant, "This is awesome." Just soulless, overproduced bullshit. Yeah. And this was one of the better matches on the show.
Yeah. This was an okay. The NXT tag team titles here. Dark State, Dion Lennox and Osiris Griffin defeat Hank and Tank to win the NXT tag team titles.
This match had good energy.
It did. I like the Hank and the Tank. I wish.
Here's my problem with Hank and Tank, Rich. Are they doing a Public Enemy tribute act?
I was about to say they're doing a dollar store Public Enemy thing, which is not the way. I would try to find a different thing to do.
They look like shit. I mean, let's just call it what it is. They look like shit. They don't have a good television look for 1985, let alone 2025.
Yeah,
Did you see this act on SmackDown?
Oh, God, no. No.
I mean, they're wearing cutoff shorts and like hockey jerseys and they're flying around. Look, they worked hard.
They're good workers. Workers.
They're decent little workers, but this is not this is an aesthetic business more than ever, and especially in that company. And this is not, I believe, in its current incarnation, a main roster act.
Oh no! Oh God, no! They're wearing their like Tom Lawler shorts, the really really tight, really short, jean shorts, and they're wearing like baseball jerseys or whatever. And it's like, they look shindy as fuck. And that's not going to work on any level whatsoever. But I liked their work, but no, it's not. It's not going to translate. And Dark State is spooky NXT stable number 3. By the way, if you're keeping count, there's a couple of them, and this is not the culling, because there is the culling. And by the way, the culling, Joe, I don't know if you saw, they did a video package for the culling, and I know you're a big fan of the culling. It's got 10 guy in it. It's got Sean Spears, and it's got Izzy Dame. It's got Dollar Store Tiffy Time. It's got generic white guy. I don't even know who that guy is. And then it's got what's her face, who has a doll. There's another doll. I knew you would love that there's another doll. Who's
the what's her name? She's very annoying.
You know what I'm talking about, right? What's her
the spooky girl with the doll who pops up in TNA.
Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley. Yeah, so she has a doll. Because of course we have to have more fucking dolls in wrestling. So there's a backstage angle, and like Sean Spears is like, tell me, Culling, what are we gonna do to ensure that we continue to rise up the ranks of NXT or whatever? And then Tatum Paxley holds her doll, and then Sean Spears goes, Izzy Dame, you did not interfere in my last match. Like, what is this? This is so stupid.
It's so bad. It's why nobody's watching and buying tickets.
It's just, and I'm like, do we need another spooky faction? Like, how many spooky? Fuck Shawn Michaels. The Chef Michaels, can you book anything besides spooky women and three-ways? Like, what is going on?
It's
stupid.
It's unwatchable trash. It's just so bad. I don't even have shtick to do this time around. It's just bad on an irritating level.
No, Suit is saying that is Dark State. No, that's the Culling. Dark State is Deion Lennox, Osiris Griffin, Cutler James, and Saquon Sugars. They're different.
They're the guys who, where the lights flicker and
they do the cruel the Contra unit thing where they won this match and it's like, oh, they're the new tag team champions. They went, and then the screen shook a little bit.
They're like the Antifa gimmick Vince was booking with Mia Yim and Rusty Trombone and T-Bone and fucking Cincinnati Bowtie and Shane Haste, all those guys. Remember, that's what Dark State's like, a version of that.
Yes,
Rich is talking about the Culling, which is Sean Spears as like a cult leader.
Yes, correct. But they're also spooky.
What are we even talking? What is this?
Dumb. Fuck.
This is worse than the Gummy Bears, for fuck's sake.
So apparently Sue was answering Ash's question, which is, which faction has the white guy who says vaguely gay stuff? That apparently is Dark State.
That's Dark State. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't.
That's
great. I didn't
apologize to Suit.
Yeah, I apologize, Suit. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Ash by Elegance versus JC Jane versus Masha Slamovich in a TNA Knockouts World Title Triple Threat match. Oh my God, this TNA WWE relationship, it just gets better by the day. So JC Jane comes in as the double champion. She's supposed to be the heel. The fans just chant JC 2 belts the entire time. Okay, great. And then Ash by Elegance, FKA Dana Brooke, wins the TNA Knockouts title. Do you think she pins the NXT wrestler? Of fucking course she doesn't. She pins Masha Slamovich to win the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team title.
Who, by the way, all TNA fans want is for Masha Slamovich to win this title back. Right. And at some point she probably will. She'll beat Ash by Elegance at whatever Impact Plus fucking event or pay-per-view they have coming up.
Against all odds. Let's just say against all odds is coming up.
Yeah, whatever. Sure. That's the destruction and Bipu of TNA. Just say against all odds. Just say against all odds.
Victory Road. Sure. Against all odds. Yeah, that's the only two. Yeah.
Yeah. So and she probably will, but it ain't gonna be here.
And no one will know. And no one will watch that.
Wasn't gonna be on an NXT show.
Hell no.
That is for damn sure.
Will not let any TNA person pin a WWE person. An NXT person. An NXT person. They will not. And there's Carlos Silva in his dumb little hat.
With his stupid hat. And they
cheering in the crowd. Yeah. Ash by Elegance is my champion.
Listen, they all get swept up on being on camera. Isn't it amazing?
Uh-huh.
They all get swept up in being on camera. Another guy who, listen, doesn't have a drop of television charisma. Why are you insist on being on camera? I mean, if you want to have a TNA representative at ringside, like for story purposes, put someone in a commissioner role or something.
Yeah.
Have Santino sitting there. Someone who knows what the fuck they're doing and has a drop of charisma. Or just do a stand-in, because this guy, and it's just, it makes it all seem all worse when the guy who's legitimately running the fucking company is in the literal cuck chair at ringside.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's pretty absurd, but we're bearing the lead here. Dana Brooke, she has won the championship. So
championship. Love her. I love Dana Brooke.
My favorite thing about the whole by Elegance thing is that you have Heather by Elegance, which is Heather Reckless, who's not, she was an indie worker for a while. She's okay. Yeah, and you have M by Elegance, who's Maggie Lee, and I think Maggie Lee's a very, very good indie worker. And Dana Brooke is like the one that they put front and center, who is by far worse than both of them, by like magnitudes.
Worst of the three.
Like Dana Brooke is one of the worst wrestlers you'll ever see.
You won't find many worse 10-year veterans than Dana Brooke.
So bad.
Never gets better. You know?
Oh, and Masha's out there trying her best to make this a match work, and JC's pretty good too. You know, she's all right, and it's just like
fine.
And then Ash by Elegance rolls up Masha Slamovich 1, 2, 3, and it's like, oh my god, Ash, and the crowd doesn't give a fuck. They don't know who Ash by Elegance is. They don't know that. They have no idea that it used to be Dana Brooke. They don't care. Everybody there is just chanting for JC Jane. They don't give a fuck about Masha Slamovich. They don't give a fuck about Ash by Elegance. They only care about JC Jane, and it's just it's a TNA Knockouts World Title, and the fans are just chanting for JC Jane the entire time because they just do not give a fuck about TNA, and not one single person that was in the Lowell Memorial Auditorium is going to watch TNA this week to see Ash by Elegance, doing a championship celebration or whatever. Not one person in that building is going to watch TNA this week.
Over under is 0.5. And I'm taking the under.
Right. Carlos Silva is the only person, and we're not counting him. No one else will watch. Well, speaking of piles of shit, here was Blake Monroe versus Jordynne Grace. Oh God.
Oh, was this the shits? Was this the shits?
She is a fucking zilch, and I want apologies from all of you. All of you, and I know who you are. I want fucking apologies about Mariah May.
Listen, I used to think Tony's master stroke was Jade Cargill. No, it was Blake Monroe. I can't believe how competent and good at times that she looked in AEW. And I wasn't even crazy about her there. I would be the one doing reviews being like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see what everyone else sees, but I guess it's fine. And it was still just levels above the horse shit that she's producing in this company.
She's just got no connection to the crowd whatsoever. They don't give a fuck about her.
Tony drew money with her.
Yes.
Tony drew real money with her. That's a work of fucking miracle work.
The Grand Slam Australia was centered around her and Tony, and it's drew ratings and money. With this zilch, this complete fucking zilch.
God, did this stink?
Oh, so bad. And the best part of the story of this match was Blake Monroe saying, "You're ugly, Jordynne. You are ugly. You are stupid looking and ugly." Was essentially what the whole build was. And guess who won the match? Blake Monroe.
I gotta say, man, I feel like this is one of those mid-aughts Vince style storylines where they're ribbing on the square. I think they're picking on Jordynne Grace.
Of course they are.
She's got her weird bodybuilder voice now, and she's gone through physical changes. I think they're shitting on this person. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This is like Piggy James or
and
Natalia,
it's even more uncomfortable that she didn't just get her revenge on the heel. The heel says, "I tried to make you look pretty, but I can't put lipstick on a pig. You're ugly. You're ugly. You're ugly. You're ugly." And then she rolls her up 1, 2, 3 and beats her, and it's like, okay, that doesn't quite, because you've told the fans then, like, effectively that that the pretty girl is right. That girl is ugly. It's very weird. It's very weird, and no one. Believe it or not, no one talks about it. No one says, well, yikes, that's we talk about it, but your big time accounts and big time, nobody says anything about yikes. That's a kind of a weird story. If this story happened in AEW, it wouldn't stop the think pieces.
Oh my God, people would be all over them for this. This is, absolutely.
Can you imagine this story happening?
Well, okay, this is probably why 4,000 women watched the show.
Right. Possibly. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
It's, so... it's crazy.
It's just, but the whole point of the story is you're ugly and then I beat you. It's just like, okay, all right. That's one way to do it. Well, nevertheless. Bad match. Bad. The crowd did not care
so
either.
Bad. Yeah. Oh, my God, it was not good.
Then we had, let's turn things around here real quick. Chelsea and Ethan Page versus Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele. So now the best part about this match is Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele come out draped in the red, white, and blue here in Lowell, Massachusetts. They come out with American flags. They're Olympic athletes. And here comes Chelsea Green and Ethan Page draped in the Canadian flags. And they're like, America stinks. Yeah, Canada or whatever. And this crowd, 100% of this crowd, cheering for the heels and chanting.
Well, they like the people
like Chelsea.
With the charisma. They don't like the people that have no charisma. So,
and I'll give Ethan Page a modicum of credit here. He is a professional wrestler. So what happened is, and he's a professional worker and he knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, nobody ever wants to watch him on any show that he's ever on. But halfway through this match, he's realizing, oh, God, that we're getting cheered and they're getting booed. Wrong. This is not going well. So he stops when the crowd gets silent for a little bit, and he goes, I don't care how loud you guys cheer. We're not going to let you come into our country or whatever, thinking that that's going to turn things around.
Yeah.
It did not. The fans just went, we want Chelsea. And then Tavion Heights and Tyron May Steele, who are very green and don't know anything, they get in the ring and they do a spot and they stop and they look to the crowd and like, yeah, I just did a big move. And the crowd goes, boo.
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't working at all. Go home, guys.
You know, it's funny. It's funny. In another era, when this was actually still pro wrestling, they could have just switched roles for the night.
Yeah.
And had a fun match. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in another era.
And get a lock up and say, hey, Tavion, look, we're not going to switch this crowd. You guys got to start working heel.
Yeah. Tonight, you're a heel. Tonight, we're the babies.
They couldn't.
And that's how it was for a long time. Listen, I've told this story 1,000 times. I went to the Meadowlands and watched the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, Tracy Smothers and Steve Armstrong, against the Horsemen, Arn Anderson, and Lee was Barry Windham that night. And let me tell you, East Rutherford, New Jersey was a Horseman town. And
they're not Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, guys? All right.
You would be shocked to know that East Rutherford, New Jersey were not
even with
rallying
the stars in the
around.
bars? Even with the stars in the bars?
The stars in the bars. They were rallying around
nuts?
the Horsemen.
Oh,
this was the Northeast, baby. And the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys worked babyface for about 90 seconds in that match. And those four absolute fucking professionals realized what was happening. And by the end of that match, you had Arn Anderson playing to the crowd as a full-on baby because they went with it and they rolled with it. And it was the most over match of the night as a result. They just scrapped whatever fucking plans they had. They called it in the ring, which they were probably going to do anyway, those four guys. And it was just they might have changed the finish for all I know. But my God, that was a great time. Because when the crowd realized that they were going with it, we got more into it. You know what I mean? You can't do that now, especially in this company.
Oh, God. You think Tyra May Steele is capable of switching between a heel and a babyface in a match? No.
Well, even if they did it, they don't get fired. This isn't pro wrestling anymore. And this is the perfect example of how this isn't pro wrestling anymore. This is just some bullshit fucking TV show under the guise of pro wrestling. We're teaching people off the street how to pretend to be pro wrestlers. You have Ethan Page in there trying his best to turn the crowd because he actually knows how to do this. And it doesn't work. And, and you get the shit show that you got. And now there's reports that they want to bring up Chelsea Green and Ethan Page as a main roster act because they feel like, nothing says this company isn't for me more than Chelsea Green.
Right. An earnest Chelsea Green push. Yep.
Right. Like who fucking Chelsea Green?
With the secret Hervis. Yeah. Oh man. I can't wait. Yeah.
I mean, we just don't like the same thing. We're
on two different planes. Yeah.
Different fucking planets if you find Chelsea Green entertaining and want more of it. You just don't want what I want. You probably really enjoyed the puppet spot on the AAA show. I don't know. Whatever.
Stupid. Then we got to our main event. And hey, I will say I adored 17 minutes of this 17-minute and 44-second match here between Obafemi and Javon Evans. These two guys got in the ring. It's been a pretty decent build, and they did the build of Obafemi as big and strong, and he threw Javon Evans onto the table, on the announce table on NXT. Javon Evans takes a wild-ass bump, and he's selling his ribs, and he's coming in not at 100% against this powerhouse Obafemi, who's the NXT World Champion. So Obafemi just beats the shit out of this guy for 17 minutes, and Javon Evans is firing up as much as he can and being the big baby face, and I can survive, I can do this. Couple hope spots here and there. Maybe I got it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he pulls it out and he pins Obafemi, and the referee counts 1, 2, 3, and the crowd goes, yeah, he did it. Javon did it. And I'm thinking, that's a good match. What a way to get Javon Evans over, and you want to move Obafemi up to the main roster. And I think he's getting pretty close to being ready for that if you want to try it. We'll see. If you're going to do anything with this guy, I think you got to do it pretty soon. But whatever. So Javon Evans gets the pin. Everybody goes nuts. And I cannot believe on the exact same day, and I didn't know this finished. Until I watched Heatwave a couple days ago. I didn't know on the exact same day that Forbidden Door has a match where a referee counts 1, 2, 3, and then just dies for 5 minutes, and then wakes up and goes, no, sorry. No, I'm sorry, your foot was on the rope. I can't. The 3. I know I did 3, but I can't. Your foot's on the rope. Chef Michaels cooks up the exact same recipe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Javon stands up, and then another referee comes out and goes, oh, no, sorry, Oba's foot was underneath the rope. And they go, oh, okay. All right, run the match back. It's not over yet. And then Oba Femi tosses Javon Evans into the table, picks his ass up, puts him in the ring. 1, 2, 3, and it's over.
All poorly timed, by the way, that spot.
Yeah.
On top of everything else. The referee, it's just the same stupid fucking finish on another show.
Stop.
I'm going to ask you a strange series of questions.
Okay.
Just want you to be honest.
Yeah.
Pretty decent match, Obafemi and Javon Evans.
I liked it a lot. It was probably it was charting to be my favorite match of the weekend. But then the finish, and no, that invalidated.
Okay, great. Do you think it was better than I don't know, Tetsuya Naito, Tomohiro Ishii from New Beginning 2014? The match that brought me to tears.
No, I don't think so.
Do you think it was better than the Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho ladder match from Royal Rumble 2001? Do you remember that match?
No. Yeah, of course.
No, you would say no?
I would say no, it is not better than that match, no.
Do you think it was better than the Bryan Danielson, Ricky Starks strap match?
Oh, God, no. No. No, few matches that I've ever seen are better. I saw that thing live. No, few matches are better than that one.
Okay. How about the Katsuhiko Nakajima, Kento Miyahara, All Japan Triple Crown match from New Year's Eve in 2023? Remember
no, I adore that. Oh, no, I know where this is going, and no, it is not better than that match.
You don't think it's better than that match?
No, oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Do you think it was better than Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada from Wrestle Kingdom 18?
No, not at all.
So you're taking Danielson and Okada from Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay. How about this one? The Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho versus Steve Austin Triple H tag team match from Raw.
Oh, no, that match is great. No, the match is fantastic. Triple H tears his quad and they still do the match around it. Yeah,
all-time great WWF tag team match, right?
Molten hot crowd the entire time as well. Yeah, of course not. No.
Yeah, I'm just naming some random matches.
I think I know where this is going. I was wondering. I was trying to follow. I'm like, what do these matches have to do with this? But
these are some really great matches.
These are some phenomenal professional wrestling matches that if you're listening to this and you've never seen any of these, you should probably go out of your way to watch all of them.
How about Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay from Wrestle Kingdom 16? Do you think it's better than that match?
I don't.
What match do you prefer?
I think I prefer Okada and Will Ospreay. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. How about the Hangman Page John Moxley Texas Death Match from Revolution 2023?
Oh, phenomenal! Everything that I've ever wanted out of an AEW main event.
Javon Evans and Obafemi or that match?
Unfortunately, I got to go again with Hangman and Mox.
Okay. All right. I'm just curious because according to Cage Match, this match was better than all of the matches that I just proposed to you. With its current 9.26. How about Cactus Jack versus Triple H from Hell in the Cell in 2000? Do you think it was better than that match?
About equal. I'll give you about equal. I wasn't a big fan of that one. I like the Royal Rumble match a lot better.
How about Pac versus Will Ospreay from All Out 2024?
Oh, God, no. No, that match is phenomenal. What?
All right. I'm just asking. I'm just asking questions.
I can't believe the Ishii Naito match. Oh, God. Drove you to tears. To tears. The strap match, the Danielson. I have never in my life watched a match where I put my hand in front of my face and was like, I don't know if I want to watch this again. But then I peeked. I peeked through my hand. I was like, nah, you know what I do? I fucking love this. That was an incredible match to watch live. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I would agree. Obafemi versus Javon Evans currently has a higher rating than every single one of those matches that I just named. I don't know, bud. Maybe you just have bad taste.
I guess. I liked it too. That's the thing. I liked that match a lot. Again, it was charting. I'm telling people, if you think that we're usually I don't know what your thought on the matches overall, but I thought it was very good. I think it is well worth your time to watch. And I think it's also worth watching to see just how bad the finish was and how the finish invalidated what was in my mind, a great match. And a no bullshit match either. Just like two dudes get in the ring, and the crowd, guess what, Joe? You're not going to believe this. The crowd was super invested in this match. Because Javon Evans, and they're telling a good story about this guy. And you got Obafemi the champion, and Javon's the underdog babyface trying to overcome the big monster and win the title. And the crowd is invested in it, and Javon does it until he doesn't. With a terrible finish that I still can't believe both these companies did the exact same finish, essentially on the same day. But then I can believe it because wrestling's very unoriginal and nobody knows what the fuck they're doing anymore. So,
no, I mean, you almost you expect shit. I mean, but they did the same fucking shitty finish.
You have all these finishes in the world, and they both on the same day decided, let's do 1, 2, 3. And then someone's going to stop the person from... And they're trying to retcon it on AEW. And I see it, Tony. Don't pretend that Mark Briscoe was the one that changed that.
I don't know what the story they're trying to tell with that. I talked
know.
about that on the TV reviews, but MJF blaming Mark Briscoe when
he didn't even get halfway down to the ring. The security got him.
It was very unclear. I had someone respond to my review saying that MJF is blaming Briscoe because if Briscoe hadn't distracted MJF would have had time to remove Hangman's foot from the ropes. Thus, when Bryce came to, he wouldn't have seen Hangman's foot on the ropes, and he would have.
Absurd.
And you know what? That person's probably right, but how fucking stupid and absurd is that?
Yeah.
And how many people actually got it? In real time, when we were doing the Instant Reaction Live, people were trying to tell us that Bryce passed out before he counted to 3. Rich, the bottom line is nobody understands what they were trying to
Yeah, you have a bad story. If nobody knows what your story is, it's a bad story.
Did you happen to see the Ric Flair, Barry Windham 45 minutes time limit draw from TV in 1987?
Yeah.
Observer match?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't as good as Obafemi and Javon Evans. I'm just letting you know right now. That's another match.
I'll go back. How about I go back and rewatch it just to make sure?
You have to compare.
Was it the Worldwide or the Crockett Cup one?
No, the Worldwide.
Worldwide. Okay, I'll watch the Worldwide one and see.
Yeah, the Worldwide one, the long draw.
Oh, the 45. 45. Yeah. Okay.
5-star match. The whole
January 24th, 1987. It's available on YouTube. Just look up NWA Worldwide Wrestling, January 24th, 1987. Yep, we can all watch it together and come back and find out if it was better or worse than Obafemi versus Javon Evans. Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, I'm just asking questions.
As Sue Williams says, and he sums it up perfectly, Tony Khan running the same finish on an AEW show that NXT did on the same day should be horrifying. Yes, I agree.
It should be I mean,
a lot of people listening to this should say, "Wow, that's not good."
We'll point that out. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know you loved this match, Rich. How about the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers in the
the cage match of the year in Voices of Wrestling?
Yeah, not as good as Javon Evans versus Obafemi.
Well, then I guess we know who the 2025 match of the year is going to be: Javon Evans and Obafemi.
How about the Bryan Danielson Shingo match from Dragon Gate USA?
Oh no!
After Danielson got choked, Justin Roberts with the tie. Remember that one?
Fuck off! Yes, I remember it vividly.
Well, no, sir, it's you that will be fucking off because it's not as good as Javon Evans versus Obafemi. These are like some legendary matches.
That's a fucking great match. Yeah, we're in like rare territory here. I can't believe it's higher than the Bucks and Lucha Brothers. That blows my mind. Wow.
The bottom line here is the NXT cage match voters need to be stopped because they're altering history in a very bad way. This is in no way, even if you liked it, and you did, would you consider this a legendary all-time match in the pantheon of some of the matches I just named?
No. Nobody will remember this match in 6 months.
Did we just affect this because it's down to a 9.01?
All right,
we started.
All right, folks. Thank you. Yeah.
Did we just brigade this?
Hell yeah. All right.
Because it was 9.26 when we started the segment, and now it's a 9.01, and now everything I just said is untrue. All of those matches I named are now rated higher.
Above it. All right. Thank you.
I think we just brigaded this match.
Yeah, I don't love to do that, but you know what?
Did we just cause a bunch of review bombs on this match? Is that what just happened? Where are the latest reviews? Did you psychos in the chat Maybe I should keep going. Can we get this thing all the way down to an 8?
Yeah, let's
Can
do
we
it.
get
Okay,
this
all right.
down
Keep
to an
naming it.
8?
Now, what is it above now? What's it above now? And I can let you know. We'll do the game. Keep going.
Well, it's a 9.01. Let me go back to the match guide. I'm going to have to go a few more pages deep.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little. Now we're starting to get
9.01 is not even that. That's,
no, that's not that egregious. That's fine.
I mean, look, that's a 4.5-star match, and I can assure you that was not a 4.5-star match.
No.
I mean, so it's still rated too high. But this fucking thing, we just dropped it a quarter of a point in 10 minutes. That's crazy. You guys are crazy. Our chat is crazy. W's in the chat. GG's all around. We're brigading this match. All right, let's see. 9.01. I got to go all the way to page 10. on the cage match.
That's fine with me. You know what? That is fine with me. The page 10 is fine.
It's still top 1,000.
Okay.
It's still top 1,000.
Someone asked us in the chat, and it would be a horrible show, so I don't want to do it, but we should maybe do it one of these days. There's going to be one of these shows where I think, or one of these matches where it's going to be worth doing this. Someone said, can you guys name, it was one of the top 100 matches for a while there, and like, can you name 100 matches that are better than this? And I was like, absolutely. And then someone said, can you guys name 1,000 matches better than this? And I said, yes, but that'd be horrible audio. And then I thought, that'd actually be a pretty fun show. You and I just get on here and name matches for 6 hours to get to 1,000 matches better than Obafemi and Javon Evans. But we could easily do that. That's not a problem.
I mean, there's definitely, look.
100 is a breeze. We could do that in an hour. That would take no time whatsoever.
The 1,000th best match on Cage Match is an 8.95.
Right. That's what I'm saying. 1,000 is not hard.
Because this was like a 7. Even with the bad finish accounted for. All right, so let's see if there's anything.
What egregious matches that we can get this one below?
Well, we've got Punk Joe from Ring of Honor is still rated below.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I know you might prefer. You're the hot take guy on that match. You might prefer over Femi and Javon Evans.
Draw. It's the 60-minute draw from Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah,
the one that's rated below.
I rewatched those not that long ago, and they're fine. They're okay.
I'm not big fans of them.
No, I don't love them.
I gotta be honest. I'm not. I think they're very overrated. A bunch of like G1 matches. See, here's the thing. Because all of these matches I'm looking at that are rated below 9.01 are like fairly rated, I'm not seeing all-time classics like I was seeing before.
Right.
So you like
there's no Flair Wyndham 45-minute draw
exactly
in there.
So I'm looking at matches that I think were clearly better than Obafemi.
The first one you mentioned, we were both like, yeah. The Punk Joe, we're like, yeah, I guess.
Here's a recent one. How about Luke Jacobs, Big Tom Ish from the Rev Pro 11th anniversary show?
No, I prefer
that was better
was
than
better.
Obafemi.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on. All the Luke Jacobs, Tomohiro Ishii matches were better.
Every single one, yeah.
Here you go. Okada versus Naito from Wrestle Kingdom 12 is below Obafemi versus Javon Evans in front of 400 people in the dimly lit Lowell.
I think they had more than 400 people there, but your point stands. I think it was more than 400 though.
Yeah, this was the Okada win over
yes.
where Naito went for the Stardust press.
Yeah, that's a fucking that's a phenomenal match. Fuck off.
Yeah,
that's a great match. That
it's
match
a great
really
match.
Good.
It's a great match.
An all-time shock. I remember being late to work because I just couldn't get over the fact that Naito lost that match. I just had to sit in my kitchen for like another 15 minutes and then drove to work.
Yeah.
Better.
So,
way better than Obafemi.
Yeah, you get the idea. But let me check back in. Some more time has passed. Let's see if our psychos in the chat. Our chat was not going to stand for this.
I appreciate. I don't love review bombing, but I do appreciate this one.
The chat heard the reviews, heard the matches that it was rated higher than, and they sprung directly into action. No, it's still at 9.01. So I guess everybody in the chat with a cage match account did their dirtiest here. And now look, if they gave it a fair rating, then there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. It doesn't have a single rating yet under 5. There's 1 vote for a 5 and then 5 votes for 6.
Yeah.
And everything
that's
else
good.
is 7
or
higher. So whatever our chat just did, they didn't like go in there and give it a 1. They didn't go in there and give it a 0.
They went in there and gave it a 7 or a 6 or whatever.
They went in there and gave it a fair rating, what they thought of the match. So I can't knock it from that standpoint. But
I think you should watch it. I think those people that if you are compelled to go on Cage Match and review it, I think you should watch it anyway. It's a 17-minute match, and I think you'll find it interesting. But I think when you're done, like you said, you'll find it to be a 7 or an 8. You know, but it's certainly not a 9.
Yeah.
I probably go there. Before we move on to another topic, does this douchebag Nebraska quarterback guy, is he any good? Because I'm watching him and he sucks. Does he always suck?
Raiola, he's I don't know if you know this, but he's a Patrick Mahomes cosplayer.
Yes, but he stinks.
Yeah. Everyone hates him.
No, I know, because they keep breaking in, because they're doing this game in Kansas City. So we keep having to see Patrick Mahomes in the skybox, and don't worry, Taylor and Travis were there too. So we keep cutting to them, but they keep cutting to Patrick Mahomes, and then they keep showing that, like, oh, he wears like a headband just like Patrick Mahomes. He has hair just like Patrick Mahomes, and the guy's like, he's like 5 of 7 for 60 yards. Like, don't show him if he's bad. I don't give a fuck that he dresses like Patrick Mahomes. The kid sucks. He's brutal.
See, I had a feeling. So a hipster, am watching Wisconsin versus Miami of Ohio.
Oh God, what's that? It's probably is that a barn burner over there, or what's going on?
That's 10-0.
Oh, well, this is 13-10, and this fucking douchebag can't do anything. He's terrible.
Listen,
he can't throw in the pocket. He gets the ball and either hands it off immediately, or he like runs and then throws it on the run, but they're never on target. They're always nowhere near. And I'm like, what is going on here? But yeah, we keep cutting to him and doing insets about him, and it's like, this guy's getting a lot of publicity, and he doesn't seem to be very good. So,
yeah, Dylan Raiola.
Yeah, he's kind of a dweeb too, right? Like, he talks a lot of game, right? Is that the right guy?
He's a grown man who is cosplaying another grown man. I would say safely that he's a dweeb. So yes.
Okay, well, I'll have one eye on Nebraska, Cincinnati. 13-10 going into the fourth there.
Last year, he had a sparkling 13-11 touchdown to interception.
That's what I'm saying. So. Like, we can't be doing all this like publicity thing for this guy. He doesn't seem to be very good.
Well, it's working.
I guess they're in Kansas City and it's sold out, and he's on national TV. So you're right. And I'm watching him. So
he had a 13-11 touchdown to interception.
Looks like me in my Troy dynasty right now. It's like
ratio.
Like my guy Jack James at Troy. That's about where my ratio is too with him.
And for a 6-loss team, and you know his name,
right.
So
it's true. To be fair, I called him that douchebag from Nebraska. I don't actually know his name. That's why I asked you, Dylan, whatever the heck it is. But Patrick Mahomes should be embarrassed that he's like being shown. Like, he should have already left and be like, "Do not show me again and compare me to this fucking guy."
Why is he endorsing?
Right,
That's a good question.
No, I should not be here. I shouldn't be seen with it. Don't do an inset of me watching this guy. Like, this guy stinks, and I'm one of the best ever. Like, well, fuck off. This is ridiculous. Anyway,
Mahomes is kind of a dork too.
No, he is an absolute dork too. Yeah, with his weird Muppet voice. So
yeah.
WWE Clash of Paris. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, Intercontinental title. Roman Reigns, Bronson Reed, John Cena, Logan Paul. Good old-fashioned Donnybrook, Sheamus versus Rusev. WWE World Heavyweight title, fatal 4-way, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, LA Knight, Jey Uso. All right. You want to do that before Dishonor?
Jeez. You don't sound too enthused about this.
Clash. No.
You're not excited about it? You're not?
No.
No?
No.
What's your favorite match in that lineup?
What's my favorite match on that lineup? John Cena, Logan Paul. John Cena, Logan Paul.
You want to see how those two work together, huh?
Yeah. I'd actually like to see how low effort Roman Reigns is going to be in this match. Because this is like a throwaway pay-per-view. Roman had to have already booked a trip to Paris, or he's using it as like an anniversary gift to his wife. There's no way this man is going to Paris to work a match against Bronson Reed. You know, this dude never works. And he's coming to Paris to face Bronson. I mean, I don't know. Low effort for there. So I guess I'm looking forward to John Cena, Logan Paul the most. You're looking. I know you're looking forward to a fatal 4-way match. You can't wait to see how all 4 men are going to be in the ring at the same time. How is that going to work? Oh my God, you're going to try to go for a pinfall, and then LA Knight is going to come out of nowhere and break up the pinfall. I mean, it's going to be crazy to watch.
I think someone might steal a pin to secure the victory.
Oh wow! You think Seth freaking Rollins? You know, like CM Punk's going to hit a go to sleep, and Seth's going to run into the ring and throw CM Punk off of LA Knight and then pin him for his own.
How about how long will it take before they utter perfectly legal at some point in that match.
Oh, the Fatal 4-Way? It's
Yes.
perfectly legal, Cole. Have Wade Barrett. It is, but yeah, probably. That's a good bet. That's a good betting line. I'm gonna say a minute 20.
Oh, very quickly.
Very quickly, I think.
Okay. Well, I hope you're more enthusiastic for the instant reaction live that we're doing for WWE Clash in Paris.
Hold on a minute. I did not agree to that.
Coming up this weekend. That's right. Right here on the Flagship Patreon.
Yeah. Huh. When is this show? Let's see. What time?
Did I work myself into a shoot? Because I am not.
No, this shit's at 1 p.m. on Saturday, I think. No, I'm not doing that.
All kinds of baseball on.
No, there's so many sports I'd rather watch.
College football. Come on.
No, I'm good. Sunday at 1 p.m.
That's the Flagship difference.
Yeah.
All these other hokey sites are locked into this stupid show and going live afterwards. We're like, fuck that.
No, it's a low effort show, man. I just had to, fucking hand over my dad's ashes to somebody to, I'm not fucking wasting this weekend watching Clash in Paris. No, I'm good.
Listen, fair point.
Not this weekend. Not that. I'm going to cherish each and every hour of this weekend that I get. I'm going to take a load off.
Had a rough couple weeks.
Yeah,
Had
I'm
a
going
rough
to take a
couple
load
weeks.
off. I'm gonna do
You're ready
something.
to,
I'm gonna do what I want to do
R&R.
this weekend. Yeah, a little R&R this weekend for sure. So
Yeah.
I don't think at 4 p.m. on Sunday I'm gonna say sorry, honey. Joe and I got to talk about the good old fashioned Donnybrook between Sheamus and Rusev. Can you
Rusev getting
imagine?
booked. How about that?
Yeah.
Now, is that a rib? Guy never gets booked. They send him to
They
Paris.
sent him to Paris. Yeah.
Get on a 7-hour flight, dipshit.
Right.
And no, you can't bring your wife unless you're paying paying yourself.
I gotta say, pretty 5 matches on this PLE here.
God.
Big, yeah.
I mean, Levesque.
The coffers of the bucket is
God.
really
Yeah, he's filling some buckets with this one. 5 matches, you say?
Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine earnestly watching this. Imagine telling you have a significant other and you say, like I said, you're like, or you have children for God's sakes, and you say, sorry guys.
Yeah.
On a Sunday afternoon, a beautiful Labor Day weekend, a beautiful Sunday afternoon, Labor Day weekend. Sorry guys. I gotta watch Clash in Paris on Peacock and then talk about it afterwards. Yeah, no, thank you. Instead, I'm going to watch it a couple days later, and then we'll talk about it next Thursday. How about that?
Hun, I got to stop you right there because when I tell you who's in this fatal 4-way, you're going to understand why I'm blowing you off this weekend. A lot of conversations like that happening.
Yeah.
Right now.
Main Event Jay is in the main event, honey. I can't. I'd love to go to our son's first football game, but I can't.
Big Jim might show up. You never know.
Big Jim. He's a new father, or not a new. He's not a new father. I guess he's a new expectant father.
Yes,
Big Jim. But
he's the one married to.
Yeah.
I always confuse.
No, yeah, it's Big Jim and Naomi. Yeah, and then Jay, I think there's a. I don't think she's a worker. I think it's just a random woman.
Is he a swinging bachelor? Is he a swinging bachelor?
No.
Oh, he's not.
No,
Okay.
no. He's got a couple kids. I think
he's been married.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think it's just like a random woman. I think it's just a high school sweetheart or something like that for him.
Well,
so
not
a
good for
worker.
them.
Not a worker. But Big Jim. No, Big Jim is the expectant father. So
well, all right.
Good for Big Jim. All right. Hey, Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor coming up this weekend as well. August 29th. That's tomorrow night. ROH Death Before Dishonor. Main event for the ROH World title. Now, we I don't know who in the chat room actually watched Ring of Honor today, so if we don't have all the matches, please let me know. I think I have all of them. I did as much as I could of digging on reports of what was announced on today's Ring of Honor show, but Bandito Hechicero for the ROH World title, presumably your main event, and then ROH Women's World title, Athena versus Mina Shirakawa is the match.
Here's what
there,
hurts
so.
this show. No one thinks either of these titles can possibly change hands, okay? Bandito Hechicero will probably be a fine match. Athena Mina Shirakawa will also be a match. But I don't think anyone thinks that these titles can change hands.
No.
So
nobody thinks Hechicero is rolling into, freaking 2300
the pure
arena.
title for that matter too. I mean, so you just have a bunch of title matches where, the outcomes are not in doubt.
Yes, Lee Moriarty. What's it, Jula or something? People told me how to pronounce it last time, and I forget exactly how to pronounce it. But
you don't know how to pronounce this man's name?
No, how do you pronounce it?
I mean, you do this show week after week. This is an acclaimed luchador.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone told me how to do it, and then I forgot. I don't remember now.
And you don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Do you ever do your homework?
I don't, clearly.
Okay, it is Shelwa.
Shelwa?
And you should know that, quite frankly. Shelwa.
I don't know if that's true. I'm gonna wait to see if.
Well,
I can't wait for the chat room to come in with 15 different ways to pronounce it. Yeah,
you know they will.
Yeah,
but that is what the AI overview on Google is telling you. That it's Shelwa.
Shelwa. All right.
So,
Hua Shelwa. Shelwa. All right.
Shelwa.
Shelwa. Like is he from Quebec City? Shelwa. All right.
It says Shell.
Okay.
-H -WAH. I just ignored the H in the middle because I don't know what to do with that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like Hua. Shelhua.
Shelhua. Shelhua.
All
Yeah,
right.
Shelhua.
Shelhua. Shelhua.
Shelhua.
Okay.
But then it says an alternate pronunciation.
Oh, here we go. Even the AI can't figure it out.
Sheihua.
Sheihua. I'm not going with that one. I don't like that one.
SHAY-I-HOO-AH.
Nah, I'm good. Yeah.
That sounds like Ralphie from The Sopranos. She was a hua. That can't be right.
That seems like too much. Yeah, I'm going to go with Shelhua. I'll go with that. But yeah, he's not winning this title either. ROH Pure title. Now, this one, Fight Without Honor. Who knows? Toss up 50-50. Paul Walter Hauser and QT Marshall. We got it. Look, I like that the guy, I love that he loves wrestling. I get it. It's great. He wants to help bankroll MLW. That's great. I love it. He can get them Don Gato tequila things and get a sold show with Danny McBride's tequila brand. It's fine. I don't need to see him wrestle. Nobody cares. No one's gonna buy the show because Paul Walter Hauser's on.
He brings throngs and throngs of fans to the show.
Brings anybody to
yes, he does. He brings throngs and throngs of fans.
And then every time we do this, people are like, I mean, he's an Emmy Award. I don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody that watches any of his movies ever watch any of these wrestling shows. I don't give a fuck that he's an Emmy Award winner. I don't care if he was good in Fantastic Four. I don't care. I host a professional wrestling podcast and talk about professional wrestling. I appreciate the guy loves wrestling. I don't need to ever watch him ever again. If he wants to do guest commentary, I guess fine. I guess.
I don't know what to tell you. I think he brings throngs and throngs of fans.
They're going to be hanging from the rafters.
I think the play is to book Paul Walter Hauser versus the Costco guy, and business will just explode from there.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, their 15 minutes is so up. Those Costco guys.
I know.
It's over.
They had that post the other day with like 4,000 likes.
It's over.
Yeah.
Who could have foreseen that the Costco guys would have a short run? Anyway, Fight Without Honor. Yeah, Paul Walter Hauser and QT Marshall. Sammy Guevara and TBA will defend the ROH World Tag Team titles against the Outrunners. Hey, maybe a title switch here. Maybe a title switch. Think the Outrunners can win these things? That's not a bad title switch. It's not a bad idea to go with the Outrunners as your ROH World Tag Team champs.
Fuck them. They should never win.
Oh, man. I thought you turned the corner on them a little bit. I
like them. I'm just saying they should never win.
Oh, all right. You like them as jobbers? Or not jobbers,
I like them as
you
jobbers.
like them as, maybe essentially a jobber.
I like them to always lose.
Okay.
Stop giving fans what they want.
That's true. Fans don't need what they need. Yeah, fuck off. Yeah, you're right.
Wrestling fans deserve nothing.
You've turned the corner. Yeah, you're right. Wrestling fans don't deserve what they want at all, ever.
No.
You got to hand it to Vince. He understood that.
That's right.
That's one good thing about Vince McMahon.
We're just handing him that. That's all we're handing.
We're just handing.
To be clear.
Right. Not any of the other stuff.
Literally nothing else.
Right. A lot of people at his birthday party. That was pretty interesting to see.
I mean,
stunning. A stunning revelation that people that he employed for years would go to his birthday party. Unbelievable. I cannot believe it. Yikes. I can't believe it. Yeah, but shock of all shocks. ROH World 6-man tag team title. Sammy Guevara, double duty here on a 6-match show. Sammy's got to work twice. The Sons of Texas, Marshall and Ross, and Sammy Guevara versus the Shane Taylor Promotions trio of your guy, Charlie Bravo, the Captain Shawn Dean, and Shane Taylor.
Oh, hold on a second.
You love Charlie Bravo, I know.
Hold on. Are we retconning something here? Didn't Dustin hold these titles with the Sons of Texas? We're just bequeathing it to Sammy because Dustin's out.
I guess so, yeah.
We're just handing it to Sammy. No one's going to notice. So why not?
Oh, that's right. I didn't even notice that. You're right. Dustin was the champ, not Sammy. Because obviously Dustin's been replaced.
Sammy were the tag champs.
Yeah, they were the tag champs. I forgot. Yeah. So Sammy is just getting, he's just getting the opportunity to defend these titles. Think he's going to lose both of them? Is he going to lose both straps in one night?
Why not? That's the funny outcome. So just do it.
Yeah.
Book it, Gabe.
I hope he has to. No, what would be great is he has to do them back to back. Like he loses the one match and he's like, God damn it. And then like doom, 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 the Outrunners are coming out to the ring and he's like, no, damn it. Like, fuck. All right, fine. Yeah, so. Someone saying the tag team the titles were vacated. They were not, I don't think. I don't think the ROH World 6-man titles were vacated. Were they?
Rich, you haven't watched ROH since Ladder Wars 2006.
Well, I know they're not vacated.
Are you sure?
Okay, maybe they are. I don't know. Are they? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to the ring of. I don't. These people are telling me these titles are vacated. I don't believe that's true.
The one time you want the swink around.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Okay, folks, if they are vacated, then let me know why ringofhonor.com/roster has ROH World Tag Team Champions Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara and ROH World 6-man tag team titles Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs. You might be saying, well, no, they're doing it. So then, okay, let's see if they have some news here. Let's see if they say what's going on with this. All right, so I'm going to click the latest, the news here.
Always a time to pee, like you said.
There you go. Unclear on Ring of Honor's website otherwise if they are the champs or not. I don't know.
All right.
Guess what I realized while doing this? I also don't care. So it's fine. Well, whatever.
We're about to find out when we tune into...
Yeah. As I continue to click around, I'm realizing I'm not going to click for 8 more minutes and find out. I don't care. So fine. They're held up. They're vacated. Whatever.
He doesn't care, folks.
They said the Rickabone said that they're vacated. And Ian would never lie. So you know what? We're going to go with it then.
I got a text message from Rob Stryker earlier today.
Oh.
I'll read it verbatim. Quote, not going to lie. I'd like to stick it to Rich this weekend. End quote.
Oh.
Rob Stryker's a Yankee fan.
Okay.
And they are playing the White Sox. My response to that
I'm not gonna bet on the White Sox.
Well, I'd like to stick it to Rich this week. He just wants to beat the White Sox and stick it to you.
Oh yeah. Oh, each White Sox loss is just a dagger in my heart. Yeah, okay.
He's like John Malkovich in Round. I stick it in you. I stick it in you. He wants to stick it to you.
Uh-huh.
I responded though and defended you. I said, not only will Rich not watch a single pitch of White Sox Yankees this weekend, he doesn't even know the White Sox are playing the Yankees this weekend.
No idea. Yeah.
End quote.
Oh, you know what? I do know because I was invited to tonight's game and I had to deny. I couldn't go because I was doing this podcast. So.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I did sort of know the Yankees were there because someone said, hey.
The White Sox lost 10-4, so he did, in fact, stick it in you.
Stuck it to me. Yeah, but I would have gotten a free Ice Cube. I would have gotten a free Ice Cube bobblehead had I gone to the game. They were giving out Ice Cube bobbleheads tonight. So,
have you ever been the guy that goes to the game with the promotion, gets the promotion, then walks right out and doesn't even go through the gate?
No, not me. I think promotions are mostly wacky and stupid and annoying. I'm actually a guy who's like happy I don't get the promotion. Because here's the thing when you get the thing. There's some times that I've gotten. Like I went when the White Sox, the year after the White Sox won the World Series, they had like a ring night or whatever. And if you went to the building, they gave you a ring. And I have that ring forever. And I'll always cherish that. It's on, looking at it right now. I have it on a little White Sox. I used to have a whole White Sox like thing, and now it's been whittled down to like a little Mark Burley thing and a little White Sox World Championship thing or whatever. But I cherished. I got that, and I was happy to get it. But the problem with a lot of these are, and I think you might know this too from going to games. You walk in and they hand you whatever it is. It's a bag, it's a bobblehead, it's a shirt, it's this, it's that. You got to carry this fucking thing around the whole day now. And as the innings go on and on and on, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm leaving my seat and I'm like, oh, I better not leave it or someone's going to take it or whatever. So I'm going to go, you know, I'm pissing and I'm holding this thing and I'm like, I don't fucking care about this Harold Baines bobblehead. Like, why do I care? I don't fucking care about this Harold Baines bobblehead. You know what? I'm just going to hand this to somebody. And very often now I just find somebody and I go, here you go. You know, if you want it, take it. It's fine. I don't care. This dopey hat that I'm never going to wear. It's a low quality, shitty hat. And I'm carrying it around like it's, I better hold on to this thing. It's like, I don't care. I don't care.
With the sponsor
with
prominently
the fucking Pepsi logo on it. Yeah. I'm like, what do I
Yeah.
give a fuck about any of this stuff?
Yeah. The, we were at the Reds.
Jeremy says, this is so great. What a great giveaway. Jeremy in the chat says, I have Anthony Rendon Angels playing cards. That's so good. Because you walk in and you're excited. You know, you hand your ticket to the guy and the guy's like, here you go. And you're like, oh, hell yeah. I got these Anthony Rendon playing cards. And then you bring them home and you're like, why do I have Anthony Rendon playing cards? Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Why would I ever want this? But it's free, and you're like, oh, it's a giveaway or whatever. Like, that guy was going to hand me an Ice Cube bobblehead, and I'm thinking, I don't want an Ice Cube bobblehead. What am I going to do with an Ice Cube bobblehead?
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to carry it around. But, you know, there are people that do those, and they get the thing, and they walk right out. I'm like, nah, I'm here for the baseball, you know.
We went to the Astros Reds earlier this year, and it was Jose Altuve bobblehead. So we get our 4 bobbleheads, and there was a guy waiting in the concourse who's clearly like, you ever run into those stadium lifers? They have season tickets. They're just always in the stadium there. And he's like, hey, can I buy your bobbleheads? Because he saw we were wearing Reds gear. So he probably realized we didn't really want the Jose Altuve bobbleheads. You know what I mean? So he gave me $20 a pop for 3 of the bobbleheads. The boy wanted to keep his, so he kept his. And then he pulled out this giant binder and he says to the boy, hey, who's your favorite Reds player? And he goes, Ellie De La Cruz. He goes, well, I don't have him, but do you want this Joey Votto autographed baseball card? And the boy was like, yeah. And he gave him a Joey, and he went through this binder. Because this is a guy that's just always at the game, so he probably just always gets autographs, you know? So he flipped over to his Reds section in the binder, and he gave him a Joey Votto 2012 Topps autographed baseball card in exchange for the bobblehead.
That's a great trade. There you go.
So that absolutely worked out. I got the money. The boy got the baseball card. It was fantastic. In Cincinnati, we were there for Ellie De La Cruz basketball jersey night, which was like a sellout. The whole city was into this. 2 nights before, we got in on Thursday. Now, I've been exchanging emails with Reds announcer Brian Giesenslaw. He does the pre- and post-game shows, and he does a podcast I listen to, a Reds podcast. So I exchange emails with him sometimes. So he told me to come by the pregame, like they do the pregame show in the concourse, like at a desk. He told me to come by, make sure I come by on Thursday to come see him. So I went to see him to say hello, and he called my kids over, and he had this bag full of swag for them.
Oh, hell yeah. Good guy.
Yeah, great guy. I mean, baseball cards, bobbleheads, and inside the bag was also the Ellie De La Cruz basketball jerseys that were going to be the giveaway 2 days later. So my kids got the Ellie basketball jerseys a little early. They put them on. They had all the other kids were asking them, how'd you get that? That's not till Saturday, you know, and the boys like, oh, my dad knows the announcer, you know? So anyway, flash forward to Saturday. They already have the jerseys. We get there and we get 4 more jerseys, right? Because we've got 4 tickets. And TLB's like you. She's like, I got to carry these fucking things.
Oh, not Capitalist Lands. Capitalist Lands is making of some money on this one, isn't he?
You know what? You're on the right track, you would think. So the boy wanted to keep like 1 more or whatever to like put it in a frame or what. So I took the others and I went over to the area and I was waiting. I saw this fuckface come to the gate with tickets are all on the phone now. He scans 10 tickets, takes 10 jerseys, and just leaves.
Oh, God.
Like,
and those are all on eBay, by the way, in
They're
8 minutes.
all on eBay. And I'm just watching this grown man scan 10 tickets, take his 10 jerseys, and leave. And I'm just shaking my head. And then they run out of jerseys. And capitalist pig Lanza, which you've just dubbed me, okay? So I waited.
I don't think I used pig. I just said capitalist. I don't think I said pig.
This family comes through the gate and they're out of jerseys. And I went up and I said, "You guys get an Ellie jersey?" And they were like, "No," they were all out. And the kid was an 8-year-old kid at this point. I said, "Listen, I got a bunch of these things. It's a long story, but you could have them if you want." I gave the jersey.
Look at that.
So how about that, Rich Craig?
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't judge a book by its cover. There you go. Nice job. Nice job.
And they couldn't. The wife like hugged me. I'm fist bumping the husband. And, I'm just like, yeah, don't. He's like reaching for his wallet. I'm like, don't worry about it, man. Just we got plenty. My whole family's got them. Just, enjoy your night. Pay it forward. Go Reds. So, turn that story around on
you. Really did. Yeah. Good stuff out of you. Good stuff.
You thought I raked somebody over the coals like I did those bobbleheads.
Yeah, I would have been like, all right, well, what's it to you? How bad do you want it? Yeah. No, I've done a lot of giveaways. I do that too. I get the giveaway and then I find someone that because a lot of them are like, and as a kid, I loved the giveaways. Don't get me wrong. As a kid, I lived for the giveaways, but now as an adult, I'm like the first time I see a little kid or something like that, I'm like, here you go. Like I had a shirt come down. I was at a Bulls game and they have the fucking little parachute, the shirts come down or whatever. I just grab it and find the nearest kid, or if I get a foul ball or whatever, always right to the first kid. I don't need any of that stuff. It's like, come on. My house is filled with junk that I don't need. So, but you can make a kid's day. You can make a kid's day.
You give it to a kid. Can you believe both of these little shits got foul balls while we were there?
How's that possible?
Odds?
Yeah, how's that even possible?
Well, okay. So the one game we were sitting right next to the ball boy. So that was an easy
one. Little tosseroo. Yeah.
So, first foul ball, he just hands it right there. Right?
Okay, all right. Well, that one doesn't count. I'm not counting that one.
So he gets his. And then our last day there, Sunday, we were sitting behind the home dugout, couple, maybe 5-6 rows up. And it wasn't a true foul ball. It was a foul ball to the first base coach who threw it over the net. And it was careening directly towards my screaming wife who had her hands up to block her face. Because, a baseball coming in at 30 miles per hour may as well have been a fucking missile in her eyes.
Right. A honing missile. Yeah.
So we lucked out there too. It came right to us. And then, so the girl, she got a ball as well, but both of those little shits got a ball. It's really unbelievable how lucky they were. On top of the gigantic bag of swag from Brian Giesenslaw.
I said a hell of a weekend, man.
They had a great weekend.
They're going to go to baseball games now and just think that happens all the time. It's like, hey, there's a reality. This is a rarity. You got lucky this weekend. So
yeah, he got all kinds of autographs. I'm like, this is not normal. Like sometimes you don't get an autograph. Sometimes you don't get a foul ball. Sometimes your dad isn't a big important person who knows the pregame announcer, and you don't get these things. But great time for everybody.
Yeah, going to baseball games as a kid was so good.
Yeah. I mean, we're probably going to go back every year now because I thought 4 games was really pushing it, and I thought they would be baseballed out, and I thought I'd be going to like the last 2 or 3 by myself. Do you know what I mean? Like they'd go to 1 and then be like, all right, we're going to go to the zoo today.
Yeah,
or
by like the 8th inning of the first game, they're like, can we go? This is boring. Try to.
No, they were super into it. My wife has now become a baseball fan because of the trip, and she like watches the games with me now. It's crazy.
Look at that turnaround.
It really ended up, and now she wants to go back every year. And not only that, she's in tune with like the playoff race. She's like, hey, if we're still in this thing when the Mets come to town, you want to just fly up for the weekend? I'm like, holy shit.
Wow.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, yes, I do. I would very much enjoy that. And she's like, if they make the playoffs, we're going back, and I'll pay for everything. We got to go to a playoff game. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even intend for any of this to happen. But now she's super into it. But
you can tell your kid this. Chris Sampson in the chat room, and I know this is true. He said, I've been to hundreds of baseball games. I know a devoted White Sox fan, and I've never gotten a ball.
Me too. I never came within 20 feet of a ball. These 2 little shits get them, and I can't say their first try. We've been to Houston Astro games, but the first time they go to fucking Cincinnati, they both get balls.
I'll tell you,
it's pretty wild.
I got a lot of baseballs during the summer, the 2003 and 2004 White Sox. My buddies and I liked the Devil Rays at that time. I was like an ironic, but then also an unironic Devil Rays fan at that time. And let me tell you, Devil Rays White Sox day games in 2003 A lot of opportunities to get balls, including we showed up for batting practice and just shot the shit with Rocco Baldelli for like 20 minutes. He was just shagging balls. Nobody else is there. He's talking to me. He gets a ball. He just tosses it up. He signs it. I toss a pen down. Like I have that ball right next to me too. He gave us like 4 or 5 different balls later in the night. Do you remember Damaso Marte, a bullpen guy for the White Sox? You probably don't remember.
Of course.
We're just hanging out, and I'm like, "Hey, Damaso," and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" He just tosses us 4 balls. We came home with some. We had to give some away and throw some back. Like we're like, Marte comes up with 3 balls. We're like, we already have like 4, so just give us a couple back or whatever. And then a home run ball lands next to us. No one else is in the stands. We're like, all right, here we go. You know, it's so good. Oh God.
Yeah, and Chris Samsa has been going for 20 years, and he can't get anywhere near him.
Yeah, well, he went to too many good games and not enough Devil Rays White Sox day games in 2004. I'll tell you that. But yeah, Damaso Marte and Rocco Baldelli, I'll always remember. I had a sign for I think it was a wrestling. I think I wrote on my sign, I smell what the Rocco was cooking, and he walked up and he's like, "Why'd you make me a sign?" I was like, "'Cause you're Rocco Baldelli." And he's like, "All right, whatever," because he's thinking I'm going to this game. We're fucking horrible. The White Sox are good, but nobody goes. And here's these 2 dorks, you know, coming to the game 2 hours early to show me their sign that they did. So he's like, I better give these guys some balls or whatever. And then he just ended up talking to us the whole time. You know, because he's shagging balls during batting practice. It's like I don't care that much. You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
And he's so good that he would talk to us, and he'd hear the ball, and he'd turn around and he'd catch it, and then he would just like toss it back in the infield, and then turn back around to look at us. And he knew off the sound of the bat that it was coming to him.
It was coming to him.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm always amazed at is watching the infielders warm up, and they just throw these casual lasers to first base. Right on target, like right to the fucking chest. Just these lasers, these laser beams from third base while they're fucking off with the guy next to them.
Yeah, they're chewing gum, they're spitting gum, they're talking to the next guy next to them, and they're just like, ball comes, then
there's just a different level of movement on a baseball thrown by a professional baseball player that's hard to explain. It's like this casual, but the ball just rips out of their fucking hands. It's really crazy. It's really crazy.
All right,
that's always super impressive to me.
We can run through these last 2 topics real quick. I got some loser shit for you. You want some updated loser shit?
Loser shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Nebraska is leading this current college football game 20-17. We have a 3-point game with about 7 minutes or so left on the clock. They just cut to the skybox. Pat Mahomes says, "I'm out. That's enough football for me."
He got out of there.
Why would you not stay?
Beating the traffic.
I mean, what are you doing? Stay.
I don't get it.
Come on.
I mean, you
were there
that
all
pot
game.
committed.
You left at halftime.
Yeah, you're that pot committed. You either got to leave at halftime or stick it out.
Exactly. You can't say, 3-point game, I'm out of here. That's enough for me.
Where's he got to be?
Exactly. He's trying to take a private jet back and forth. You don't think they can get a police escort to get that guy home? Like he's got to
wait. This is in Kansas City.
It's in Kansas City. That's what I'm saying. You think he's got to sit in the parking? He doesn't want to sit in the parking lot and wait to be directed out of the building.
He lives 10 minutes away.
Exactly. Come on. It's fucking absurd. He probably doesn't watch this loser Nebraska guy choke. Anyway, all right. Upcoming New Japan. Do we need to talk about the upcoming New Japan schedule and notable matches? Yeah,
Probably
why
not?
I'll do it. Why not? Road to Destruction, Night 3, September 13th. Never open weight time. I don't care. Actually, I don't care. I just realized. Who cares? Who cares? Do you care? Do you care about the Destruction in Bipu card or whatever the fuck?
Listen.
Destruction in Kobe, September 28th. We'll have plenty of time to talk about it. Don Fale is challenging for the Never Open Weight title. That's all you need to know. All right?
Listen, there's plenty of time to break down that tour. I think that at the end of a 3-hour show that's running a little late, I think
it's not the one. It's not the one. Yeah, we neither of us finished the whole Rev Pro 30th anniversary shows, so we cannot talk about those. I will say
maybe on a plus or something.
Yeah, maybe on a plus. I will probably get it all the way done in the next couple days or so. I will say Zack Sabre Jr. and Josiah was very good. I would definitely recommend that. And the Mercedes Moné versus Emerson Jane match from night 1 was very good as well. So
why don't you just commit to a plus?
I'll just commit to a plus. Yeah, I'm almost done watching the show. Yeah,
do the Rev.
Yeah.
Did you watch the 3 Royal Road matches yet?
I have not watched those.
All right, well, I watched those. You want me to blow through those and then we'll get out of here?
Yeah, do that, yeah.
All right, so the first 3 Royal Road matches, Korakuen Hall, not a great crowd. Less than 1,000 people in Korakuen Hall for the 3 of the opening round Royal Road matches in All Japan. The tournament resumes this weekend, so it's a very relaxed schedule for this thing, apparently. But Daisuke Sekimoto over Naruki Doi, short match. They worked it like a traditional junior versus heavyweight, where Doi was very clearly positioned as an underdog, and he loses to Daisuke Sekimoto. So got a freelancer versus an outsider there, and the heavyweight moves on. It was fine for what it was. Naoya Nomura with his Real Blood t-shirt against Yuma Aoyagi. Nomura moves on. This was the best match of the first 3 matches of the first night of the tournament. Notebook material for sure.
That's got to be a little bit of an upset, right? Yuma Aoyagi going out in the first round.
It's a little bit of an upset, sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Really, some real hard work here, and really worked at a hard pace, especially down the stretch. Nomura caught him in like a pinning combination. It really felt like a very good catch as catch can style match, and Nomura picks up the upset victory over Aoyagi. I have no problem with Yuma getting knocked out in the first round. I have not been happy with his work over the last several months. So to get him out of here and move Nomura on instead, I have no problem with that. But that was the best match of the 3 that I'm going to discuss here. The main event was Kento Miyahara over Kengo Mishimo. They worked it around Kento's right leg, not his left leg. I'm always fascinated when they choose to work on the right side. Yeah,
work into the right. Okay.
Versus the left side of the body. Kento's selling, I saw some criticism. It didn't bother me as much as it bothered some others. He was still throwing those running knees with the right leg, even though it was the clear focus of the match, which was a little bothersome. But, he did make the big comeback, and he put away Mishimo. They weren't going to knock Aoyagi and Miyahara out on the first night of the first round. Kengo Mishimo is a guy that they bring in for all of these tournaments, and he usually wrestles pretty well. And he wrestled pretty well here. Probably a disappointing match, since you have a higher floor for Miyahara than you do for most people.
I could see that.
So probably I'd go like 3.5. Nomura Aoyagi was probably a 4-star match. And Sekimoto Doi was just too short, really, to rate. It was just like a 5-minute match, 6 minutes and 43 seconds, according to Cage Match, which, again, Doi was just playing the role of the undersized junior who had an uphill battle to climb, and Sekimoto put him away and beat him. So those 3 guys move on. The tournament carries on this weekend. We've got Jun Saito versus Rena Yabe, Hakuto Omori versus Zion. They like the Zion.
Awful.
They keep bringing him back. Shotaro Ashino versus Davey Boy Smith Jr., Ryuki Honda versus Kuma Arashi, and then Hideki Suzuki versus Odyssey. More bookings for Odyssey.
Yeah, that's an interesting one there too. Odyssey, the FKA Odyssey Jones getting another book.
Winner of that faces Sekimoto. So, and it'll be Miyahara versus Nomura in round 2, which has a chance to be a very interesting match. Why not? If Nomura upsets him and goes to the semis, and maybe they'll get bold.
Yeah, it's a cool story.
And so.
Yeah, the bottom of that bracket's a lot better than the top of that bracket. The top of the bracket's a little rough there.
Yeah, I agree.
We're getting a Zion Jun Saito match coming up at some point. That's I don't know.
If you're worried about drawing, you could put Jun Saito all the way through to the semis and finals and be okay from that standpoint. If you want to knock Miyahara out, you know what I mean? So it's not impossible that Nomura beats him there. So, and then he would obviously be facing Hideki Suzuki. I don't think, Suzuki's wrestling Odyssey Jones because he clearly got him in, because Suzuki was a trainer in NXT.
Yeah,
while
he knew
Odyssey
him.
Jones was there.
Yeah, he clearly knew him, and that's a hookup or a friendship or whatever.
That's clearly a relationship thing, and he's working with him because he's familiar with him and all those things. So I'd be stunned if Odyssey won, and then I'd be pretty surprised if Sekimoto beat Hideki Suzuki. So you're probably going to get Hideki Suzuki versus either Miyahara or Nomura, and then I think they're going to put Jun Saito. They're going to have him do a deep run because they have to draw. That's the other thing. It can't always be about telling a story with these things because you have to sell tickets to these shows. That's something that you always have to consider. And then the big mess underneath that match on the top half of the bracket. I don't really think it matters who wins a lot of those matches right now.
No, that's a big.
Now Honda's going to beat Kuma Arashi, I think, but
Ashino and Dave Smith, that's kind of a toss up. Who knows? I think Zion will beat Hokuto Omori, and Jun Saito will of course beat Ren Ayabe. I would hope. I mean, if you want to draw,
I mean, if they knock Saito out, it's bold, and if they do, then Kento is going to go all the way to the fight because they have to have draws in the mix somehow. They just put under 1,000 in Korakuen. You can't have everybody get upset and have non-draws headline in some of these shows later in the tour. So that's that. The winner of that's going to get the title shot. So that's your Royal Road.
There you go. And that is this episode of the Flagship Podcast. So we'll be back next week. Obviously, we'll talk about Clash in Paris and a couple other. Hopefully, we'll have some updates about the AEW with Max situation. And plenty of other stuff coming up next week. Again, like we said, a lot of stuff available for you at flagshippatreon.com. You'll have a new tour of the territories coming up in the next couple of days. You'll have a new episode of my Road Wild series, Sturgis Stories, as I conclude with Road Wild 1999. You have that Restoring Power, How to Revive Billy Corgan's NWA up there right now, written piece at flagshippatreon.com. You have the College Football Intelligentsia if you want some non-wrestling. You got the Thursday Dynamite review. You have our Forbidden Door Instant Reaction Live up there. Plenty of other stuff, as well as some NFL Intelligentsia coming very soon, too. So plenty for you guys there at flagshippatreon.com. Make sure you join the conversation at voicesofwrestling.com/Discord as well. But that is it for us. So that is Joe. I'm Rich. We'll talk to you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hi, I'm Andrew Rich. And if you're like me, you look at the state of modern wrestling discourse and think, wow, what a cesspool. That's why I'm here to tell you about Music of the Mat Remix. That's right, your favorite wrestling music podcast is back with a new format, where I bring on a guest and we play songs related to wrestling-themed topics. It could be a wrestling reference, a wrestling concept, a wrestling pun, things of that nature. Now you might be saying, Andrew, that is a very, very tenuous connection to pro wrestling on a wrestling podcast network. Is this just an excuse to hang out with your friends and talk about music and ignore the rest of the wrestling landscape? Yes. Yes, it is. So listen to Music of the Mat Remix on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on Apple, Spotify, or your podcast player of choice.
Hello, do you like New Japan Pro Wrestling? Are you a Shin Nihon freak? If so, check out the Super J-Cast with Joel and Damon on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
And even if you fucking hate New Japan Pro Wrestling, listen to the Super J-Cast anyway. Not just for our great show reviews, analysis, and pastrami sandwiches, but there's also usually some dick jokes somewhere in the obligatory opening 30 minutes of absolute nonsense we chat about every single week. That's the Super J-Cast for all the best talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, crisps, and pornography.